Good evening, everybody. Very sorry for the absence as of late. Both of us have been very, very busy. But tonight, we are going to talk about the players that the Hurricanes drafted in this year's 2026 NHL entry draft. Matthew, how are you doing, sir?
Doing great, Brandon. Glad we could get this going, get and talk again. And of course, our draft picks this class, we've got some pretty interesting picks to talk about. And I also am sporting the brand new Brandon Bussi jersey that we got. This is the Stanley Cup wearing jersey. Not the one he wore on his back, I wish. but that one's a little out of my price range. But nevertheless, I thought I'd debut it tonight. And really looking forward to this. It's going to be a fun show.
The closest game I ever got, or the closest the closest I ever came to getting a actual game-worn sweater. Take a wild guess who the player was.
Would that be Tuomo Ruutu?
No. I did put a bid in on one of those, but the closest I ever came.
Derek Stepan?
No. Drayson Bowman.
Ha! That guy. There's
and I wanted
a long time.
Because of the number, I was like, if I'm ever going to get this might be my best chance. Nice. I think I got outbid by $150 or something like that. And it got to the point where I'm like, okay, if I'm going to spend this money, I need to get. It's not that I dislike Drayson Bowman. It's just there was other players I like more. But I did put a bid in on a Ruutu one time, and I got beat on that one by about $550. But the Drayson Bowman one, I did come kind of close to getting.
Pretty close. Nice, yeah. He was a player who played professional hockey.
He was a professional hockey player. That is in fact correct and true.
But all right, speaking of professional hockey players, we're going to talk about actually someone that just turned or signed a pro contract with the Hurricanes today. That's pretty neat. The first selection that the Hurricanes made this year, William Hulkinson, signed his ELC today, which is
I saw that.
It's not every day, although the Hurricanes did this last year with Ivan Ryabkin too, where a player selected in the second round signs right away. He does have a couple more years in Sweden, though. I think the contract slides. Pretty sure it does if he's playing in Europe. Could be mistaken about that. I think it does, though. But as Brandon is kind of putting together the final bit of notes here, I think we're just going to have to take a quick detour to talk about the controversy here of the Hurricanes owner, Tom Dundon.
Okay, well, you're going to make me laugh too hard.
Of Dundon, and then the second line of Dundon and Dundon with the true second line center of Dax Dundon, his golden retriever.
the golden, no, it's a golden doodle.
The golden doodle.
Don't misappropriate, culturally appropriate the dog. Now, one thing I am going to do real quick, just so I can get this finished up, because I know I'm going to be laughing this entire time hearing you talk about this. I'm going to take myself off the stage. The floor is yours. Let me get this finished up and then get it uploaded. But I know you have a lot to say about this. I've already said about everything I can say, but I mean, my stance on it is pretty much the same. It's a controversy, and people are making way too big of a deal about it. Do I personally agree with the decision? No. But it's his hockey team, and they won the Stanley Cup, and I really don't understand why there's fans in the Carolina camp bitching about it so much, because without Tom Dundon, you have no hockey team.
They aren't,
unless you follow it to Quebec or Houston.
Yeah, they are not. It's fair to say, I wouldn't have done it. It's a little tacky. It's a little, whatever. I mean, that's a perfectly fine position to take for me personally. And I said this even before the fake news about his dog.
And so many people bought that. They didn't even look it up.
So many people bought it.
They immediately assumed that Dax Dundon, which I'm going to have to be careful not to accidentally say Dax Gostisbehere, because that's Ghost's son's name, I believe. There were so many people who just immediately bought that without looking.
That's ridiculous. So,
if there wasn't warning labels on things, they wouldn't be here. Don't put your hand in the blender. You shouldn't have to Google that.
The Drano is not apple juice.
Antifreeze might taste like Diet Coke. That doesn't mean you should drink it.
Don't drink.
Or Mountain Dew, I think it is. Whatever. I don't know. I'm not planning on trying it.
I tell you. So, but I even said before that happened that Tom Dundon could put his dog on the cup for all I care. He brought us the cup. See, here's the thing: if there is not a fan out there, an actual fan of their team, or if you said, okay, you're going to win the Stanley Cup, your team is going to win the Stanley Cup, but here's the catch: your owner will put his children's name on it. Nope, don't want the cup then. Oh, you are effing kidding me. You are a liar if that is what you would do. You are not a fan. You don't care about the game, and you definitely don't care about your team if that is your own position. So I don't want to hear it. Like all of the fake outrage from all the so-called pundits and so-called hockey purists out there, spare me. Every one of you would accept your team's owner putting 10 of his family members' names on there if it meant your team got to lift the cup. That's number one. Number two, this has happened before, and don't give me the crap about it was like part owners that of the for the family members. Like yeah, okay. So let me tell you something. In 2008, when the Red Wings won, the entire Ilitch family got on. Now they're all part of an ownership group. If you consider that, being a part of the team and part of the organization, where Lisa Ilitch Murray has her name on the cup. And she is actually the pastor of a church somewhere in Minnesota and couldn't have anything less. Tom Dundon's children have more to do with hockey operations than that woman does. They actually read some draft pick names at a draft. There is no way in hell that they don't deserve to be on the cup while she is on the cup. So I don't want to hear it. Spare me. Get lost, all you doofs. Co-parter. That's all I have to say about it. That's the only thing that really matters. Okay? They hate us because they ain't us. Tom Dundon can put whoever's name on the likes. He can put his dog, he can put his cat or his fish on the cup. I don't care. The Canes lifted it. That's all I care about. All right, is that enough filler time for you, Brandon, or you still working?
Okay, actually, I do have one other thing. I'm almost done. I've got the pictures clips. I just got to get them in there and make them look pretty. Here's the other thing I want your opinion on. The Ivan Ryabkin rumor mill about him being in an arranged marriage to some KHL GM's daughter, and he's getting held at AK-47 point to go back and play over there for Dynamo Moscow.
Some Game of Thrones nonsense over here.
That's what it sounds like to me. It's like, because I don't know if they have shotgun weddings in Russia. I guess they have Kalishnikov weddings. I don't know. I barely kept up with any of this stuff lately, but I'm curious to know what you think. But I'm going to jump back off of here one more time. Go ahead, do your
I've heard this rumor now. It's been out there actually longer than when it was brought to my attention. And so like this doesn't smell right. Like I guess I can't completely rule it out, but we haven't heard anything like from any official press release. The Twitter guy who posted it, I followed him for a while. So he's 50% of the time he's right every time. Is how that works, because all he really does is just kind of repeat stuff he hears from Russian sources, and Russian sources don't exactly have the best track record. And so I wouldn't get too worked up about it at the moment. Like it doesn't make any sense from his career standpoint at all. It's definitely a move backwards. He needs to play in Chicago's system in order to get ready for the NHL. He knows this, and he's also going to make more money. He's already on an ELC. And he could, like the contract, the only way it would not get voided is if the Hurricanes actually loaned him, but that doesn't make sense either. So, like, there's all sorts of holes in the story. I'm not buying it. I think it's BS. Could be wrong. Can't guarantee you that. Can't guarantee you that it isn't true, but it doesn't sound true. I'd say it's a good 80% chance that it's a lot of bullshit. I'm not buying that story at all.
Your timing there was perfect, provided that I did everything right. But that's on me if I didn't, because like I said, I kind of rushed through this. No comments so far. That's a first, because normally we've got a few of them by now. But I guess everybody's watching. Oh no, there's no baseball for a couple more days, is there? Because they just had the All-Star game last night. Mm-hmm. Which I didn't watch. All I know is that everybody that plays for the Phillies didn't have a good game, which is what I saw, which I'm happy with that.
Which all you care about. Yeah, I you know how depressed I am about baseball is that I'm watching World Cup games.
Yeah, see, I've sat down and watched one soccer game in my entire life, and that was back in, I forget what his name, Tim something, the goalie with the shaved head that
Tim
he was
Howard.
a big deal.
Yeah.
Tim Howard had that remarkable game, and U.S. still lost.
They still lost, yeah.
Which I'm sitting here, I'm like, hey, I've seen this when it's a classic.
Yeah.
I watch it on a frozen surface personally,
right.
where and it's a little bit smaller, and the guys are not acting like they got hit by double odd buck whenever they get any sort of physical contact.
I'm sorry, I'll tell you this: indoor or arena soccer is actually a good game to watch.
I had a chance to play that, and I didn't do it. I regret that.
It is a pretty good game to watch. Like, if that actually took off, that would be a pretty cool sport to follow.
You know what? One of my other favorite
it's much more like hockey.
You know what? One of my other favorite sports is. I would love to see take off, and Tom Dundon almost had something to do with it, I believe. Arena football. I absolutely love arena. I love arena football. They had it in the crown. Like, that's what we would do when the Fire Ants weren't playing, obviously, because arena football is a summer sport, obviously. I absolutely love arena football. I take that over conventional American football any day. I know I'm weird, but I love arena football. I think it's just the coolest thing.
I haven't gotten really into it, but I could be convinced. So yeah, that'd be something cool if there was a local team.
Well, they very well could easily be. You need something to do during the off season with the Canes, and you could have that in Lenovo Center, unless they're doing more important things there over the summer. Like, hell if I know. I don't know what they do there over the summer. I've never been in that building over the summer.
Mm-hmm. At the risk of derailing the stream even further, something I did in high school that actually, if I really wanted to, I probably could have maybe taken a little further. Not like as a career or anything, but as like something like a beer league thing, is Ultimate Frisbee. And I actually was okay at it. I can't do it now. I've got oh, you're going to get something. You got a disc over there, do you? All right. Well, yeah, that was something I did for a while. But back to that guy. Oh, you got something to show us, Brandon?
All right, I'm back.
All right. Well, I was just waxing reminiscent on my high school Ultimate Frisbee days. But enough of that. That's not what y'all came here for. So let's talk about our draft. Predictably, the Hurricanes all traded back. They turned the 31st overall pick into 4 total picks, which is pretty neat actually. It's an impressive bit of trading back, more so even than they usually do. And so let's start off with the first, the leadoff pick here, who did indeed today sign his entry-level contract. He is still under contract in his SHL team, Lulea, for 2 more years until 2028. At that point, I expect him to, honestly, he could make the team even out of that afterwards. Like I said, 3 years on his development track. He could make it 2 with his signing his entry-level contract. That already shows the Hurricanes have a lot of belief in him. And just what I read from my notes, he's 6'5", LHD, 216 pounds, so already a good amount of size, really good frame here. Already debuted the year prior in the SHL. It says 6'4", but he's like 6'4" and like 3/4. So I gave him the extra bit there. He made waves early in the season by grabbing a spot in Lulea's SHL lineup, which is the top Swedish league, for those of you who do not know, which in turn helped to elevate him into Sweden's championship-winning World Juniors roster. Afterwards, he spent the bulk of the second half in a loan on Hockey Allsvenskan, finishing the season playing almost every other shift in the U20 playoffs. He's big, rangy defenseman, which the Hurricanes love. The Hurricanes love to take they love their big, rangy defenseman. Excellent stick, great gap control, great rush defender, already playing in a very, very good league against, much older men. So already got a lot working for him here. The issues I see, though, of course, his game, he's a shutdown D, which means there's not a lot of defense to speak of, a lot of offense to speak of. He does need to improve some of his quick decision-making under pressure, especially when he, starts to step up in competition. So he can, tend to hold on to the puck too long in his own zone and invites the pressure. So that is something that just needs to get ironed out. And that's kind of I think that's just a youth thing. That'll get better with time. But, a lot of other stuff.
That's a repetition fix there, if you ask me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But a lot of other people, a lot of even other defensemen in the draft, he's just way ahead of him on his stick work and gap control. So the comp that makes most sense to me is Niko Mikkola, because Hawkinson also does have some nastiness in his game that Darren York actually mentioned, and I see a lot of Niko Mikkola there. He also can, like, he was asked, Hawkinson was asked, who do you model your game after, and he said Mikkola and Slavin, which of course is great to hear. And I think he was kind of specifically drafted with the aim of being the eventual Slavin replacement. Now, I think personally he's closer to Mikkola than Slavin, just because Slavin would always make the right decision. His hockey and defensive IQ is just unmatched. I will say though that the stick and gap control that Hawkinson can employ is very similar to what Slavin can do. Maybe not quite at the same level, but a very similar style. He's great at denying entry. He's just you'll get nothing and like it off the right. He is superb, probably the best rush defender, maybe the best rush defender in the whole class. So that's a really, really good thing to see. But just his own IQ in the defensive zone, where you just got to make a decision and make the right decision instantly, that isn't there yet. Slavin's always had that. So I we'll see if he can develop that, if he can improve that aspect of his game. If he does, then maybe he could be, like a pure, shutdown defenseman. Probably, I just don't know that anyone will be as good as Slavin is ever again. But if there's anyone who could do that, it would be Hawkinson.
I don't think there will be.
Yeah, I don't think so either. But he's definitely,
I absolutely agree.
He's definitely drafted with the eye in mind of being that kind of player. He's going to be like eating,
I don't think that you're going to
25 minutes. The definitely top penalty kill guy. I think that's what he's going to be.
Yeah, I don't think that. The thing is, I don't think you'll ever see another shutdown D as good anywhere as Slavin, because it's kind of a dying breed. They expect a little bit of offense out of everybody, even your shutdown guys and your penalty killers and everything like that. So not to make a direct comparison to K'Andre Miller here, but you mentioned some of the things that he needs to work on as far as developing the foundation of what he already has. So big, rangy D-man, excellent stick, great gap control, defending off the rushes, you're already saying here, and everything like that. And then he makes some mental mistakes at times with puck possession where he gets under pressure, maybe doesn't make the right decision with it, doesn't move it out fast enough, stuff like that. As long as you have the skating and the reach, kind of like K'Andre Miller does, the other stuff can come. If you have those two things, you have the foundation to really refine other parts of the defensive side of your game. As far as the decision making goes, I'm a firm believer that that's a thing that comes with repetition, and I think it also becomes like a little bit more natural progression, especially if you're talking about him transitioning off of playing on the double IHF size ice over to the North American size ice. That's something that will have to get better, and I think it's one of those things that he's just going to have to baptism by fire type of thing, where it's just the more he faces that situation, the more notes he takes mentally, the more he knows what to do, because there's only so many different ways somebody can forecheck you. They can angle you off, or they can come right at you, and you just have to know when to go for the button hook, when to go for the Mohawk turn, when to use your reach, when to do an outlet pass as opposed to exiting the zone yourself. And those are things that just come with time and repetition. So the more and more and more you do it, the you pick it up. And if you don't, it's going to become pretty apparent pretty quick. Scott Morrow. But yeah, no, he'll pick that up, I think, based on, because out of all the guys in the draft, this is the one that I've done the most reading and research on. And if you're going, you do have to start planning for the post-Slavin era. Like, that is coming. And that's one of the things that this organization does best is, as you say, keep the powder dry. You have Jacob Slavin now. He won't be around forever. Maybe you do have 7 more years of him. He's a hard enough player to replace, though, where you need to start thinking about it now. So I really like this pick.
Yeah. I mean, and this is one of, I think, now 4 big rangy LHDs that the Hurricanes have on the farm, in the prospect system. There's the 3 Russians that were at the prospect camp. That's Limatov, Timur Cole, and who's the other one that was there? Roman Shokrin. There's also a few others. There's Siratsky, who wasn't at the development camp but is still a draft pick, and I think Roman Bausov. I think he's right. I was RHD, but we do have several big, lanky, rangy left side defensemen in our system that I think that are already going to be at least professional players, and could be NHL players as well. And we add another one into the mix, and he might be actually the best of the bunch. Limatov is more offensive focused but Hawkinson is definitely more on the defensive side of things, and we need that. Obviously, the value of it. It's like the shutdown corner in the NFL. That's what you need for a shutdown defenseman. He provides so much value, even if he doesn't go on the stat sheet much. And so, with 2 more years in the SHL, I think that'll be good for his development. Then I probably expect him to play at least 1 year on the AHL, wherever that is, because I think our
I'm
deal
hoping
with Wolves ends in a couple years, ends in 2 years after his when he would be coming over. So it'll be Chicago, might be somewhere else.
I'm hoping it's,
but I think
the Checkers.
Yeah, that'd be great. Or just expansion, something local.
If they or they could take over the Stingrays and make them an AHL team. I have no selfish motivations for that at all.
Not a bit.
No,
it's not like you're part owner or something.
Yeah, and it's not like I live close to the team. I would love love that.
Right. And so, yeah, really like Hawkinson. Definitely planning for the post-Slavin era here with this pick. And he also was the best player available. He was ranked by many in the first round. He got, I won't say like it was a complete, drop off for him. He was predicted to go somewhere between like pick 25 and 50. He ended up going 51st. So to get him outside of the top 50 is a really, really nice get. Really good value here with Hawkinson. Anything else to add?
Nope. But like I said, this is the player that I've looked at the most because, I mean, you look at the prospects and, you have really good detail with all of them. Me, I just kind of tend to zero in on certain ones, like when Nikishin was the top prospect, I talked about him a lot. Mm-hmm. You and I have extensively talked about Bradley Nadeau, who I think we are going to see play next season. He's going to have to. At the end of the draft pick, or at the end of us talking about the draft picks, we'll talk a little bit about the Nikishin situation because I'm hoping that gets resolved sooner rather than later. Because that's honestly bothering me that hasn't come to some sort of resolution yet. But this is another one of those players, like when it says with the cons, not much offense at the moment. I don't really care about that. If his job, Rod said it best, preventing a goal is the same value as scoring a goal. So if you have someone who prevents them several times a game, like Jacob Slavin does directly, like there's no question he prevents shots on net in high danger or in what would be high danger shots on net. If you produce another player like that, that is just as valuable, if not more in some ways, especially if you're considering how the Hurricanes play, that is just as valuable, if not more valuable than someone who goes out there and scores. So as far as improving the decision-making with the puck under pressure, that would be what I would rather him improve first. And, offense, a lot of times there's a little bit more luck to it than I think people give it credit to. If every single shot that you wanted to go in went in, you'd have a 100% shooting percentage, and not a single person on the planet does that. So, it's like every time you fire a puck through traffic, your hope is that it goes in the net in some capacity or another, whether you do it or someone else does it. But as far as having the defensive side of the game down, that is, and by extension, the possession aspect of it, that is far more important. The guy can score 4 goals in 84 games for all I care, as long as he does good on the defensive side of things. And from what I've seen of him so far, it does look like that there's a really good foundation there to be built on. And Tim Gleason, I think, will really enjoy developing this player.
Honestly, he reminds me a bit of Tim Gleason too. Like he's that kind of player.
He's got that nastiness in his game.
He's got a little bit of nastiness as well. And again, he's not gonna light up the score sheet a lot, but he's gonna give you 26 minutes of solid defense. So, excited about that. And now to a player I actually looking at a lot today. Did you see some of the tape I sent you there?
I didn't get the chance to watch it yet.
Oh, okay. You got to check it out, man. This guy.
Well, I was thinking I'll do is I'll pull it up at the end and we'll watch it together with the audience.
Oh, that'll be cool because there's
we'll do that.
Great stuff in there. Now, so I'm not sure actually if it's pronounced Vigo or Vigo. I think it's actually Vigo.
Vigo
but,
makes sense. He's
Sorensen,
Swedish.
Yeah, Swedish, but there is Vigo Bjork, and that's with a V, and he's Swedish too. So I don't know, whatever. But in any event, Vigo Sorensen here. I'll just read from a prospect. It says offensive highs are legitimately high. He possesses the kind of quickness you ideally want to see from more diminutive forward. Honestly, he's not all that diminutive. 5'10 and a half, basically, 179 pounds. There are smaller players. I mean, Stankoven's significantly smaller. But I'll keep going. And it says regularly abuses that skating advantage at every level he plays at. He searches for opportunities to receive pucks in motion, then ruthlessly attacks defenders with his speed advantage. He's driven to get the pucks inside, has a deft touch and a small area handler, and is capable of deceptive passing plays through layers. Now, when I knew about him before the draft, I was aware that he was a guy that had a lot of upside, but was projected to go pretty late. I expected him to be the only thing that on draft night that I was a little concerned, or not really concerned about, but like that was a little crestfallen, I suppose, was that I thought he would have been available much later and that the Hurricanes didn't need to take him in the second round. Nevertheless, they did. But looking at his tape and after seeing what I see, I'm not upset about it anymore at all. This guy can play. You watch tape on him. There is a reason why he went outside of the first round, but on pure ability, this guy is insane. This guy's electric. We lost the slides here. I'm going to see if I can bring them back. Wait a second. I get this. I guess I'll have to just go from my own memory. But in any event, like this guy's electric. He is so fast. He is incredibly fast. And he's got a great puck skill. So he's got speed with the puck. And the only reason he slipped, just going to this, is that he, for a very good reason, I found out, decided not to play in higher competition. He could have, but he decided to stay home with his kind of hometown team, which is Division II Swedish hockey. Now, SHL is the top. Then there's Hockey Allsvenskan, which is like the AHL for Sweden. Then there's Hockey Etan, which is the third kind of level of pro hockey in Sweden. And then there's Division II, which is what Sorensen was playing at. So, and that's like a kind of a glorified beer league. Let's put it that way. People that play in that league, they are men, but hockey is not their professional career, really. They're like plumbers or electricians and things like that. So he dominated. He completely crushed everyone in that league. He clearly beneath him. The good thing, though, is that when he did eventually go and play international hockey on the Swedish team, he dominated there too. And so we're getting Brandon back here. What happened there, bud?
I don't know. I think the NIC card in my computer is on its last.
Bad.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So I mean that's something I don't really want to replace, but I'm gonna have to at some point.
Yeah, I lost the slide, but anyway, okay. So back to where I was here. So he searches for opportunities to receive pucks in motion, then ruthlessly attacks defenders with a speed advantage and driven to get pucks inside, has a deft touch as a handler, capable of deceptive passing through layers. And the tape really shows all of this in spades. So I think you got those are still pros and cons for
yeah, disregard that.
Okay. But yeah, so Sorensen, he is quick, man. He is so fast. He is one of the fastest players in the draft. Not quite as fast as Vigo Bjork, but he's up there. And he is a real treat to watch. He is electric. And I see a lot of Zach. This was mentioned even on draft day when he was picked up. I see a lot of Zach Benson in his game. Mm-hmm. And he is just he's
duplicated it now.
I can maybe see if I can find just what I sent you in my email.
Yeah, because this was not supposed to be like that.
That's all right. Things happen.
Yeah, I said, I kind of put this together in a hurry. The rest
of
them look okay.
You're good. I'll read kind of just my pros and cons list here. So great puck skills, great speed, and to see that together, that's the key. Is it's speed with the puck. Lots of players have speed. Lots of players have puck skills. To have speed with the puck is a rare ability. That's above average in the NHL. And he's also willing to get in on the forecheck. He's not afraid. Like even EP's description of him as diminutive, which I don't agree with. He's not afraid to get in there on the forecheck and undercut people, and go take the puck. He's not just all perimeter or all transition. He's willing to go in there into the corner and dig it out, and then find his teammate in the slot with the perfect pass. And so then the question is, with all this ability, with really I think like top 20, maybe even top 15 draft pick ability, why did he choose to keep playing in Division 2 in like the fourth level of hockey in Sweden when he had the ability to do much higher? Well, there's a reason. Actually, I just found this out, or at least according to one scout that who does that for a living, is that he's actually a type 1 diabetic, and he did not want to leave his hometown because that would mean leaving his own doctor, and so he wanted to stick around there, which makes sense. I completely understand. Now, I really hope that this doesn't hamper his career. Obviously, we know someone like Max Domi is a type 1 diabetic and has had a really, successful career. And in fact, I actually think, now that I mention it, a similar player to Max Domi too, can play center and wing, and it's been mostly played at center, as I understand, in wherever he's played in the Swedish team, as well as in his in the Swedish junior team, as well as in his pro team. He was playing center. He seems to be more of a winger to me, but who knows? He's been playing center. He's been having success at it. He's not bad in the faceoff dot from the tape I watched. He was winning a lot of his draws. So, he could even be center too. Honestly, we could have a real steal here in terms of pure ability. This guy's incredible. I just hope his diabetic issue doesn't hamper his career. As far as cons or holes in his game, at the moment, I just put that he's a bit undersized and needs to get stronger. That's it. That's all I had. And, as far as, again, I think diminutive is going too far. He's not diminutive. He's on the smaller side, though, and he'll just need to bulk up. But that's kind of everyone. that's I just, in watching this tape, I'm like, the only reason he didn't go in the first round and actually high in the first round is because of that decision he made to stay home. Because of his medical condition. When he did play in the juniors, I think what did he do? Let me look at his stats. When he played in the under 18 juniors, played 6 games, 4 goals, 2 assists. In all of his international under 18 games, 15 total games, 6 goals, 7 assists. He played 1 under 20 international game where he scored a goal. So it's like everywhere he's played, and he didn't look out of place either. Like everywhere he's played, he has played well. And although his sample size in the higher level of competition isn't huge, look at the tape, he doesn't look out of place at all. He looks every bit as electric and every bit as fast. So I'm pretty confident that he can handle higher levels of competition. And we'll just have to see. Hopefully his medical condition can be managed and he can become a fantastic player because he's got all the ability in the world. Your thoughts, Brandon?
Well, as far as the type 1 diabetes goes, the Hurricanes wouldn't have drafted him in the event that they didn't feel like they could provide adequate care for him, I don't think. Mm-hmm. So I think that part will get handled. That does make a lot of sense why he would want to stay close to his doctor. Now, one thing that you talked about was the puck's not an anchor to him. He can skate with the puck, maintain that speed, have, what it sounds like pretty explosive speed with it and everything, and still has a little bit of a playmaking touch to go with it. You know who I have always revered for their ability to skate very quickly with the puck and distribute a pass, and it's not an anchor to them at all, and that's Dylan Larkin. So that's not a common skill set at any level, someone who can be going 90 miles an hour and the puck almost not be a factor with them. And that they have the ability to maintain control of it, good control of it, good positive control of it, and distribute the puck while maintaining that type of really explosive speed. It's a pretty rare quantity. When you talk about the players who have that, it's a pretty short list. And, Connor McDavid's on that list. Nathan McKinnon is on that list. Dylan Larkin is on that list. I think when it comes to being quick with the puck and it looking absolutely no different than when they don't have the puck, Dylan Larkin's at the top of that list for me. Yep. So if he's got that type of ability, with the Hurricanes having the quick transition game they have now, especially since they're not dumping the puck in as much as they used to, that alone is a very valuable skill set for the team to have.
Love it. Love it. So yeah, Zach Benson is definitely who I see. I mean, like, he's, again, someone similar who's really not got the great pucks. He's got the great puck skills, but has also got, the dog in him, and is fearless. And I see a lot of that fearlessness in Vigo's game here. He just goes at you. And like, if we're going to put up the tape later, I don't want to spoil it, but there's just one moment that just had me. Again, it was in the Division II, fourth tier competition, but still, like, that's the thing. It's like, he falls and scouts knock him. We're like, oh, tisk. He didn't play against, high levels of competition. Doesn't mean that the player's ability doesn't change. What you see is still what you're seeing. He's still like, I mean, would you say that Connor McDavid is any less good if he plays a beer league game?
No, and I would be promptly leaving that game.
Yeah.
I'm not going to get embarrassed like that.
He's still who he is. That, like, his talent doesn't drop because everyone else around him is bad. And I also think about it, that means all his teammates aren't that great either. Like, he's the guy out there doing everything. Well, and when he actually goes to better competition, his teammates also get better. He can use them too.
See, okay, you make an interesting point there. Okay, so like, for example, if you're talking about players who develop like Connor McDavid, who was on the radar of every single NHL team since he was about 12, 13 years old. Mm-hmm. How much does competition really matter to develop a player like that, considering he's so far ahead of everyone else? Yeah, it's a factor, but for some players, it's not necessarily a big one. So distinct possibility there is that that's not really going to be a big factor with him.
And the proof is in the pudding. When he did play in international competition, he looked great.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like, that's an important aspect of things, but it's not an end-all be-all. I would say being around tougher competition is more important for players who have a longer runway that they have to reach as far as developing. Like, they need that. With him, it doesn't sound like he needs that so much as he does to get closer, or he doesn't need that as much as players who need that type of environment to improve what they already have. They've got to grind the axe a little bit harder than someone like Vigo would here, is what I'm imagining based on what you're telling me.
Yeah. And I could definitely see, if everything goes swimmingly, he could play in the NHL in 3 years as well. I don't know if he's going to actually turn to Swedish pro, if we're going to bring him over here to get him, so that we can, provide for his medical needs as well. So that I'm not entirely sure what's going to happen with his development track in terms of what league he's going to play in or who he's going to play for. But I can say his ability is so incredibly good that he should be playing in the NHL sooner rather than later. And I think 3 years at the most to the NHL games for Viggo Sorensen. Like, we're going to make teams regret passing on him too. And some people were starting to say, wow, this guy's got an immense amount of upside, but still some scouts had him completely unranked, and they say they wouldn't even draft him. So he was definitely a very polarizing player, but I think the tape speaks for itself, and we're going to watch that in a little bit. So, but before that, let's get to Zach Lansard. Zach Lansard is a player from the Regina Pats in the Western Hockey League. And I really liked him. When I started watching tape on him, he was a guy I had not known about at all, really. When the Hurricanes called his name, I was like, huh, who? But looking at the tape, I like it. He definitely looks like a Hurricane. The NHL comp to Jordan Martinook, I think, is pretty good, except he's got a little bit of a better shot. And but he's I'll just read from EP. Most dangerous off the forecheck. Lansard has the right mindset to punish turnovers, get inside. He cuts through opponents, passes around them, and sprints to the net for loose pucks. His best scoring weapon is his shot, showing a quick release wrister and masking his blade when he pulls the puck back for extra power. He plays with a ton of pace and a ton of aggression. He's pretty fast too, and he's got a really great release. Now, he's not a transition guy, so that's kind of the mark on him. He's basically all chip and chase. And we know that. We know that game. We know those roads. We built those roads. Not the most creative player in the offensive zone, Doesn't make bad decisions, but he'll make the simple play, and then when he gets to a shooting position, he'll take it, and he can beat a goalie pretty clean. So I really do like the comparable to Jordan Martinook, except with slightly more offense. He can kill penalties too, and I'd say his development track is probably around 4 years. He'll probably play in junior for another year, and then turn pro.
So going kind of back to what we were talking about with Viggo Sorensen, this is one of those players that does need to play with better competition to get better, because he has a skill set, but he's not a high-end skill guy. But you can never have a shortage of capable depth players, which that's what this guy's probably going to be. He's going to be like a bottom six grinder who
maybe middle six. Maybe
a middle six guy who kills penalties and everything like that. But when you've got the offense, when you've got the especially if you're talking about the quick release wrist shot and everything, to go with someone who punishes forecheckers, as it says. So he goes in there, forechecks hard, creates his own turnovers. He's just not really big on the playmaking touch. He's more of the take it to the house and try and stuff it in, or do one of those pop out plays from behind the net and try and roof it. And I think that that's a really good skill set to have.
I mean, yeah, and I love watching that kind of offense because it simplifies the game.
Yes.
Like creativity is great, but it can also, you start to overpass. You make that one pass too many. Where sometimes I'm just like, man, just take it, just go to the house, man, go to the rim and stuff it in, or just take the shot, And so I like players who simplify their game offensively, and it's just meat and potatoes. And he's a lot of meat and potatoes hockey player right here. And you need those on your team. And so really like Zach Lansard. And then next we got a pretty similar player. So actually, I think all three forwards that we drafted here, with Sorensen, Lansard, and Burchild, they all have that similar. They play with pace. They get it, and they get in on the forecheck. That's our system. See, the thing is, when the Hurricanes draft, when we trade back, it's often described as throwing darts at the board. It's not firing blind. They draft with intention. They draft with a certain player in mind. And they will go for value too when they spot like a market inefficiency if someone's falling. And honestly, Burchild was projected to go top 50 as well in a lot of mocks, and he fell all the way to, I think, 105th. So I like Mikey Burchild's game too. From EP, left-handed winger, 5'9", 10, 5'9.5", 181 pounds. Burchild is a shot-generating machine. He's got Hurricane written all over it.
Yes.
Driving defenses and running around the offensive zone in search of seams to fire. Using timely feints and handling moves, he beats defenders one-on-one, sidesteps them, and fires. His motor shines as he pursues the puck and pushes it ahead in the neutral zone. He has a knack for finding space in and around the slot and releasing instantly off passes. He's got another guy with a great release. All three forwards that we drafted have great motors. And that's the thing. That's our game. Great motor, shoot the puck. Go on forecheck, shoot the puck. Speed. Get in the zone, shoot the puck. Sorensen is definitely the most creative of the bunch of the three. And so it's great to see that he's got the high-end skill too. But all three can play with pace and aggression and speed. Burchild, as you see here, he's not the most explosive skater, but he's not slow either. But yeah, he's got that unrelenting motor, analytics darling. He is a Corsi guy. He'll make the team. And when he played on the U.S. National Development Team, he was playing with other definitely much higher draft pick. Like he was playing with Cullen, with Wyatt Cullen, and they were both feeding each other. And he was finishing a lot of the Wyatt Cullen's passes. And so that's really good if you watch the tape there. I see Evan Rodriguez is a very similar player there. Again, meat and potatoes, not blistering fast, but not slow, and just gets to the right spot and does his job, and is pretty good at it.
So when you say skating lacks explosiveness, are we talking about a high top speed but low 0 to 60 time type of?
Yeah, it's more like it's more like he's not his acceleration isn't as good as I think Lansard or Sorensen.
That's fine. So Jordan Staal has the slowest first step I've ever seen, but once he's up to speed, he's fast because he's got the long legs and everything. But yeah, and see, the other thing is acceleration. It's great. I don't worry about it so much on the Hurricanes because they're in motion so much. They don't spend very much time stepping into strides. they're pretty much always up to speed.
Right. Yeah. So, I mean, if he can develop a little more explosiveness, that'd be great. But yeah, so he can skate. He's not a bad skater by any means. It's just he's just not what I'd call explosive. That's it. Yeah. And as far as development track, again, I think about 4 years for him. Let's see. I'm not sure if he's committed to go to. Oh wait, yeah, he's going to Denver. He's going to the University of Denver, which is going to be fantastic for his development. That's honestly that could bring out new levels in him that I'm not even seeing, because Denver is a fantastic program, and so that's really good to see. I'm really looking forward to what he can do there. And then we got a pair of goalies, and now Ryder Fedorov. I don't want to get too ahead of myself, but Ryder Fedorov actually could be something special. There are goalies, Vezina caliber goalies that get taken in later rounds. I think Connor Hellebuyck was a 5th round pick. Shesterkin, I think, was 2nd or 3rd round pick. And I'm not going to say that he's them. Connor Hellebuyck's obviously a lot bigger. Shesterkin is only 6'1", So Shesterkin is not a big goalie, or like someone like UC Saros. It's also a later round pick. But what Ryan Fedorov has that I also see in some of these, fantastic goalies that are even a little bit a smaller stature is his reads and his angles are perfect. And he gets in the shooters' heads and knows what they're going to do before they do. And so I'll read from prospects. Whenever internal expectations were placed on him, he completely surpassed them. He backstopped the Ottawa 67s to a 2nd place finish in the Eastern Conference, helping secure the league award for lowest team goals against average, was the OHL's league leader in save percentage, and was the OHL's goalie of the year. And I also think he was the rookie of the year. So again, his reads and reactions are way ahead of of other people at his age. Is actually a ton of goalies were taken in this draft, like more goalies than I think in the previous 10 drafts or something like that. Ton of goalies were taken, and he has abilities, I think, that make him, in terms of the pure attribute, we're the best. I think his read and reaction and his skating, I don't know if there's a better goalie in the draft class that was better than him at it. He also never gives up on the play. He never gives up on the save. When he's scrambling around down and out, you think they've got an easy, like an empty net, he found a way to get in front of it. And that's just amazing to see. Obviously, he's 6'0". That is significantly undersized for the trend of goalies today in the NHL. There aren't a lot of them. It's a pretty short list that are like 6'1" or less, and that have a career. He can be sometimes too deep, although he, as I was reading more, he fixed that a bit for the most part during as the season went on, and so I guess just like no understanding his depth. Obviously, he's going to have to challenge more. And obviously, as a shorter goalie, he's going to have trouble with screens. So he's pretty good at tracking the puck. It's just, there's nothing we can do about that. That's just, that's the size. So he's going to have to work harder to track the puck than other goalies that are bigger. But he's not bad at it. And his reaction times are good. Where even if he picks it up late, he can often get the save anyway. And so I put Casey DeSmith as a comp. Be conservative here because I don't want to get too ahead of myself. Casey DeSmith, mostly a backup or 1B tandem goalie, but around the same height, 6'0", 6'1", and has a successful professional career to him. And just because goalies take longer, I'm going to say 5+ years before he plays in the NHL. Could be longer than that, but I also think that he's got some of the stats that I see on a goalie like Saros. So we'll see. Not saying he's Saros, but I'm not saying he's Saros. What do you think, Brennan?
So what I'm gathering here that you're saying about him, foundationally a technical goalie, but has the elements of a battler.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's a good thing. So the puck tracking and everything like that, that's a good element to have at the NHL level because the game is played a whole lot faster and everything like that. The better you are at tracking the puck, the more likely you are to make what I've heard referred to as, my goalie friends refer to them as clean saves or definite saves, where there's no rebound generated. You freeze it or you take control of it and pass it. It's not like where you're batting it off into a corner or just kicking it out, trying to keep it out of your own net at the time. So this is a guy who if he's what he sounds like to me from what you're explaining, he's going to freeze the puck more often than not and not have to make those second effort saves. But he has enough of an element to his game to make second effort saves more often than not.
Well, yeah, I mean, oftentimes it's just you don't even get the chance to make the first save because it's like it's blocked, but right in front of you, and it just drops into the crease.
Yeah.
And then what do? It's hack and whack time. There's you don't have the chance to make the first save because it's a scramble, and when it's put on net, it's often like, where's the puck? Where's the puck? It's chaos. And I watched tape where that was happening, and I was like, what should have been like a goal for sure, and he just found a way to get something in front of it. It's like a 10 Beller saves.
I think that goes back to the tracking you're talking about.
Yeah,
just happening at a faster pace with that the case. And like I said, I don't know a ton about goalies. That's why AB's, with the show and everything like that, he's much better at explaining it than I am. But it sounds like that this guy, it's like Bussy is not, or Bussy, for example, he's a technical goalie, but he's much more of a battler. He's much more of an athletic type of goalie. Whereas it sounds like that, Ryder here is a little bit opposite of that, where he's a more technical goalie that uses, the second effort aspect of his game to bail himself out when he needs to, but won't have to do it as frequently as some others. So,
and his rebound control is actually quite good. It was also quite advanced.
Perfect.
He'd either, if he can't swallow it, he does like he puts it in like in the corner or kicks it out with a purpose away from a shooter. Like, so his rebound control is actually also significantly ahead of the rest of his class.
Okay, that's good. Because when you're a technical goalie, the best thing you can do for yourself is not have to make second effort saves as often as possible. So if you're talking about he can go down in the butterfly and kick the puck and not only just arbitrarily kick it in any direction, but kick it with intent away from where the next stick would be, that's a good aspect to have. Yep. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye on this.
You watched the tape on that. He was doing that. There was a game or a tape I saw where he was standing on his head like that. Like his team was getting out. They ended up losing 4-3, but it was like 44 shots against. And so he still made, his save percentage was still well over 90%. And he was just like, his team was getting shelled. He was hung out to dry, and he was keeping them in it. They only lost like right at the end when it was just one too many odd man rushes that were just, okay, there's nothing you can do. So this guy, he battles and he can take over a game. And now to the next goalie, Zachary Jovanovski, the son of NHLer Ed Jovanovski.
I was about to ask you that.
Yep, he is his son. And now he is quite a different goalie. I'll read from Elite Prospects here. Though the holes in his tracking and positioning became more apparent with each passing game, Jovanovski has shown impressive angling and viewings. He challenges shooters well, keeping his hands up and cutting down the angle quickly with his feet. He leans around his shoulders in an active stance to maintain posture, alertness, and sight line to the puck to read releases through screens. His glove hand is truly exceptional, especially with his tracking issues. He flashes play reading abilities with frequent scans on his post to visualize how the play is developing away from the puck and eye down passing threats. So his best attribute is his glove. His glove is a black hole. He played a ton for the Guelph Storm. Now his save percentage wasn't all that great. I'm not sure the team in front of him was all that great. He did the most that he could. He's 6'3", so he's got the kind of the conventional size that you like, and that's definitely the trend in the NHL. His tracking position you're going to have to improve if he's going to want a pro career. So that's like things like that are just like, picked up way late or, because he's just off his angle. And his skating is not that great either. He can be very aggressive, which is a good thing, but he also gets burns east to west. So he's got some great attributes. Might be the best glove actually of the goaltenders here in the class, but he's got some significant holes that'll have to get better. Now, hey, the Canes took him late in the 6th round, so he could be the next George Vezina for all I know. I'm definitely higher on Fedorov than I am on Jovanovski, but we'll see. If I was going to compare his style of play to a current goalie, I'd say it was similar to Scott Wedgwood, where he's fairly large, pretty aggressive, but can get beaten. I'm not Scott Wedgwood's biggest fan, but I'm not going to say he doesn't have a career either. I just don't think he's the goalie that can take you all the way through a Stanley Cup playoffs. I was right about that. But if he's going to be, a pro career or maybe a backup or 1B goalie, that could happen with Jovanovski. And just like goalies, they take a while. So I say 5 or more years to NHL games for him. What are your thoughts?
Well, I mean, considering how the Hurricanes were not deep at the goaltending position, anytime that they want to insulate that any way they can, even if a guy's ceiling sounds like maybe a 1B at the absolute most, I'm totally fine with it. Because at one point in time, the Hurricane, I mean, they've come a long way from having a weekend of Yaniv Peretz and Spencer Martin. So, and I liked both those guys, especially Spencer Martin, but we have to be realistic. This is a meritocracy. And
Tokarski and Martin, that was fun.
Yeah, there was that too. Yeah. But I mean, Yaniv Peretz did have a 100% save percentage for a long time.
You sure did. You sure did.
I'm just saying, well,
Does Patrick Waugh have a 100% save percentage?
You know who else has a 100%? You know who else never gave up a goal? George Alves. Yep, he never gave up a goal. They were even afraid to shoot it at him.
Yep, didn't even bother.
I mean, Carolina still holds and apparently that game's like reposted now on YouTube. The David Ayers game. I saw. Yeah, I'm gonna sit down and watch that at some point in the near future.
It was nuts.
Yeah, it was, dude. I remember that. Like, who was it that ran Mrazek over? It was Kyle Clifford, I think,
Clifton.
right?
Clifford.
It was, yeah.
Clifford, whatever his name. I think it was Clifton. Yeah.
And I remember, I'm like, well, this ain't good. Carolina's going to get killed like 16-1 or whatever.
That's what I thought.
I was like, this one's a scheduled loss at this point. Let's just. And that team just didn't quit. I really like that 2019-2020 roster. I really did. That was a team I thought was actually going to take another big step under conventional circumstances, but that didn't happen.
They probably would have if it weren't for COVID.
If it weren't for China.
China.
China. But yeah, so it's like
unspecified virus of unknown origin.
It totally didn't come from a lab in Wuhan. But it's like, depth goalie. And I'm good with that just because at one point in time they didn't have them. But every one of these draft picks, especially if you're talking about the guys who skate out, very on-brand picks for the Hurricanes, especially the 3 forwards and the 1 defenseman they drafted. They drafted organizational needs with all 6 of these picks. So,
as it turns out, the last pick that they traded for the Flyer on John Carlson, apparently they were asked about it and they said they had no one left in the draft board that they wanted to take.
You might as well use it for something then.
So, yeah, I would have taken Alexander Komarov, but that's me. Which, if you know, you know.
I'm not impressed by him.
I mean, he skates like a giraffe, and it's running around in its own.
The giraffe would do better.
Fluids. The giraffe would probably be better.
The giraffe.
But I don't care. He's 7'1". Chara couldn't skate either when he was drafted. So I that's what I'd have done, but
he did not look like he belonged out there. He looked like it. So my Tuesday morning pickup game is a lot faster than the beer league I play in. He looked like someone who just started playing in my Tuesday morning skate out there with the Sharks. That's who drafted him, right? Yeah, because I was watching that and I was like, there is dude, Rempe's better. Like, that's bad.
You watch. He will play in the NHL.
He will play in the NHL in game 84 while the Sharks are resting players who can actually skate.
Don't care.
They go to the playoffs.
He'll make it. It'll be in there. It'll be there.
He will go to take his rookie lap and he will fall on his ass. I hate to say that about him because he's worked hard to be where he is, but he looked so out of place there. And there were people oohing and ahhing about it. I'm like, I see a tree with a very small stump. That's all I saw. It was waiting for the storm to knock it over.
Don't care. I wanted him. Damn it.
I did now. I'd rather have.
See if we could maybe do like the other stuff that hockey is, like skating and moving and having the puck.
See, that's where I'm just not sold on him at all. I'm just not. I remember seeing that. I'm like, yeah, he's not going to last. I could end up being wrong, but like, it's just he made Matt Rempe look like.
You're probably right, but damn it, I wanted him. I wanted him anyway.
Legitimately, he made Matt Rempe look like Brett Hedican. I'm no, like I'm just not.
I'd have done it anyway. I don't care. You had no one else on your draft board. It's just like, why not? See if he's a thing. Okay, well, that's everyone we took. I like the class. I mean, I love Vigo Sorensen. I think he could be scary good. I think he could actually be someone that could be special.
Well,
and I also think Ryan Fedorov could be special.
I'm sending myself these videos now, by the way.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I really think that those are the most potential, the biggest upside that I see, are Sorensen and Fedorov. Now, as for Hawkinson, I think he could definitely be a minute muncher. He's not going to be a highlight reel guy, but he can be a minute muncher and a definitely valuable piece. But definitely the biggest upside, Sorensen and Fedorov.
Okay, so we got the first one.
Yeah, the first one was just a quick highlight package of some of his international competition. The second one was a much longer video of his stuff with Boro Vetlanda, which was his Division 2 team. But there's one specific moment in there that I want to show you.
Okay.
So if you want to look at the first video there, if you can, we can bring it up here.
Yep, I'll have them up in just a moment.
Take you a second. Yeah. This kid is good. This kid is good, man. This kid can skate his ass off, and I'm watching him. I'm like, how is this guy not a first-round pick? How is this guy not a top 20 pick? There's a reason, but it's not because of his ability. In the meantime, while you're working on that, I'll just go through a few of these comments here.
Okay.
Someone just _ Chris 87 says, just lurking while playing Assassin's Creed Black Flag. You have fun poking holes in people. And
I've never played those.
And just got home from VBS. Oh, nice. Hope that was a fun time. You missed our whole spiel about the draft and my rant about the controversy of these 7 Dundons on the cup. And it feels like we needed a goalie prospect with a real shot. Hope this guy is it. Last year they got Frolov, who I actually think is probably the highest floor of any goalie that we've got now in the prospect pipeline. Okay, here we go. So there's Sorensen. I think he's wearing number 22, I believe, for Sweden. But just check this guy out. This guy is so fast. Oh.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Let's look at that again.
He's getting the goal here on this play. Finishing there. Good finish. Really good finish.
Okay, check this out. I want to show you something here. This is a really cool attribute. And we've seen someone do this before. Okay, so watch right here before he comes around the net. So it's hard to see it on here. Let me do this. There we go. Mm-hmm. It's hard to see it on here, but look at how good his knee bend is here and how he's maintaining his speed through that turn. Good crossover there.
Yeah, it doesn't lose velocity.
Yeah, he maintains all that momentum when he's coming around. I like that. No hesitation in shooting it. Just took it and went.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if he does a closer look.
He can finish around the net too. I mean, that's something else I see. He can really finish around the net. There he is with the puck right there. Goodbye.
Oh.
Goodbye. Good night. It's against Denmark, which although Denmark's getting better in international competition, they're better than they used to be.
Yeah. I mean, if they just produce a bunch of Nikolai Ehlers, they're going to win everything.
Fair enough. But yeah, look at this.
He just doesn't lose any speed at all.
Speed with the puck. Speed with the puck.
Well, also look at this though. So he's basically backwards here in the way that he transitions from back to front. Look at how seamless that was and how quickly he did it. Mm-hmm. Puck, bam. not a split second after it touched his stick, he's already going into a full forward stride after he was going backwards. Like he stepped right into that very just gracefully.
Now, tell me this, Brandon. Pause it real quick. So, all right, this defenseman that he absolutely cooks. What do you do when you see a forward coming like with the puck with that kind of speed? I mean, I guess he just wasn't back skating enough, and he didn't respect. I mean, his gap looked okay, but Sorensen just said, "Get out of my way."
In this situation, I go to the bench and I apologize to everybody. That's about all you can do.
That's like I got nothing. Like, I'm not to say that I could do better or anything like that, but I mean, like that's a good gap, isn't it?
Yeah.
He's worried about the other guy.
It's a little. See, this is kind of a messed up situation to be in because where Sorensen's at right here. He can one touch it very, very quickly and keep it. See, where Sorensen's at right now, if he chooses, even though he's on the backhand, if he chooses to just go ahead and do a quick little pass over here, and with his speed, he's still lethal in this situation because I wish I had this actually clipped so I could pull the little teleprompter thing up. But with his speed, he cuts to the middle here and he burns all three of these Danish players without looking back. This is not a horrible gap. It's just kind of a messed up situation to be in because you kind of have to try and be in two places at once. Ideally, you want to be 1 to 2 stick lengths away. When you're playing against a guy like this, 2 might be a little bit more favorable because it gives you a little bit more latitude to adjust because 1 stick length, he's going to burn you a lot faster.
Yeah.
The amount of speed.
He burned him wide. I mean, like, because that is 2 stick lengths and he still burned him.
Yeah. So it's closer to 2.5, I think.
Okay.
But here's the other thing about it, though. This play develops so quickly. All right, so if Jacob Slavin is out here instead, he's probably closer to center ice right now. So this play doesn't get a chance to materialize. And the other thing is you've already got 2 other Danish players back in addition to the one who gets burned. So in this situation, a experienced shutdown guy, in a lot of cases, is not going to be hanging back already, even though he's doing what he has to do anyway, since, Sweden's already got another guy up at the blue line. You get right here, and a lot of, like, really defensively minded shutdown guys, depending on what type of structure they play in, they're already, about – can you see my mouse on there? Yeah.
Yeah.
They're already right about here.
Well, he couldn't do that. He had to respect, I guess, the other Swedish player at the blue line.
There's some times where you have to take a risk, though, especially if you know what that guy's doing. And the other thing about it is, the reason why you'd try and step up right around there, he's not in full flight going forward yet. So you got a really good chance to get in here.
Could have disrupted it there.
Disrupt the play, get a stick in there. And then even if you do get burned, you got 2 other guys coming back. Now, even if and even if he chips it right here or right here, you have delayed the amount, you have lengthened the amount of time that it takes to get that puck somewhere where you can shoot it.
Give your teammates time to get in the play.
Back. Yeah. So it's like the thing with it is, though,
none of that happens.
None of that is going to happen anyway, just because of the speed he's got. Because even with a good gap here, the amount of speed that he's got, the amount of momentum he's got, and the fact that he doesn't slow down, like once he steps into his stride, that's it. He's just going to go until he decides to stop or he runs into the boards, whichever comes first. See, because he had him beat here for a second, he had him beat the whole time, but for a split second here, it looks like he's just going to go to the middle or maybe go for a quick little behind the, between the legs drop pass here. So he's already got this defenseman thinking that he's already got this defenseman convinced of 3 different things at the same time. And that's
he's got him guessing. Yeah.
And their frame of reference is much, much faster than ours because 1, they're playing, and 2, we're watching it in slow motion at a vantage
frame by frame. Yeah.
So in this split second, he's like, okay, he could go to the middle. He could do a drop pass. He can go inside and burn me, or he can go outside and burn me. The only other thing that he might have going for him here is the fact that I misspoke earlier when I said no, I didn't actually. Yeah, he is a lefty. So here he's already done all this. The reason why you try and keep a 1 a 1 or 2 length gap is because you don't want to end up where he's at right now.
Yeah, it's kind of like lateral, like to his side, and yeah, honestly, Soren, he could have gone inside, and it probably would have gotten past him there.
The end result was going to be the same either way, just because of this goal was pretty much scored
right there,
right about here. It was already over
right when he got the puck. Yeah,
it was already over at that point. But that's one of those times where you know, a lot of shutdown guys are just going to take the chance and try and step up on him earlier. Because if nothing else, if you disrupt the play and slow it down, you give time for the other guys to back check. These two right here in particular, and give them a chance to get in the play. Or maybe he goes for that pass, same result, slow him down, give your other players a chance to get into the play. Or maybe he messes up that pass entirely and it ends up being a glorified dump in or a miscalculated dump in.
Right.
Any of those are better results
than
this. Or it might go, you know, that's another upside of zone entry denials. They do a lot of the work for you.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
there's just that happened. Instead, he just
there's nothing.
And then finish there too. Like especially like when you go around, like skating, like kind of like through the top of the crease, the goalie's cooked. He does it there again too.
And he scored that one almost identical.
Yeah. Goodbye. And that was against Czechia. Yeah.
The best thing you can do in that situation, take a penalty.
That's all you can do. Like, I mean, and that's like, I see that happen a lot. Like he'll be doing that. He'll be like doing that kind of just power move, like just have the defender in his hip pocket. He's going to force a hold or a trip.
So actually, let's watch this one at
half speed. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a reason why. I'll show you. I noticed something. Okay. So here's one of the other advantages of having all that speed, generating all that momentum, and then being able to maintain it. If this puck doesn't come out here, if this pass goes wrong, if this guy fans on it, or, you know, it gets, you know, someone picks it off on the way through or whatever.
You can get back in position.
You've already got the speed to get back. All you have to do is you're already in full afterburner. You just got to move the stick. So right here, decision making.
There's two of them. There's two of them. There's two Czech players, and he beats them both.
Decision making moment right here, right? Where he can just cut to the middle because he's already got the speed to do that. And his edges are good. From what I've seen so far, his edges are good enough to where he could just cut to the middle. Plus, he'll be on the forehand when he goes to the middle. A little bit easier to maintain the puck. So essentially, he can just ride the center ice red line here and go to the middle. That wouldn't be the most advantageous decision, just out of the simple fact that you're going from being covered by one guy to three really quick if you do that. He makes the right choice here. Now, he won't get away with this so much at the NHL level because it's a smaller ice surface, what he does here. Yeah. But he knows he's got all this extra east-west room because he's on the bigger ice. But he already knows he's got to step on this guy. Bam, bam, gone. He does that so quick. And one of the things I love about this play here is that he just becomes incredibly selfish when he realizes that he's already got such a step on this guy. He's not going to catch him. Goes in. Kind of like speed with the puck, which because a lot of players slow down when they have, most players actually, the overwhelming majority of them do. The puck is an anchor to them. But the thing about it is this is a little bit more high. This is a more high IQ play than it looks initially. What he
looked at his teammate. He's looking. He considers the pass, but
he had zero intention of passing that puck. I guarantee it. That was strictly he was selling that. That's all it was. He never had any intention of the moment he took possession of that puck. He had zero intention of passing it. He knew what he was going to do. So this guy's pretty smart too. And one of the other things that he does here, which is another high IQ thing, he's kind of playing an angle here as far as when he chooses to cut to the middle of the ice. If he cuts to the middle of the ice, say right about here, given the goalie time, this other defenseman can cut across really quick, maybe leave his feet or something like that and disrupt that shot, get a stick on it, whatever. The cool thing about the face-off dots, you know, the home plate shape that shows the high danger area in front of the net. Picture that, if you will. He knows where he's at on the ice geographically, if you will, because he's like using the face-off dot basically as a turning point type of thing. He's using it as a waypoint essentially, because he knows once he gets there, he's in the interior with no one there really to do anything about it. He was never going to pass this puck. Like, that was poise. Comes to the middle.
But he forced the other Czech defenseman to respect the pass.
He did.
And that gave him the room. And then, again, cut across the crease.
And look at how this goalie just froze.
Yep.
With the speed he came in. By the time he thinks to go down, it's over.
Cooked.
Yeah.
Cooked him. Yeah. Backhand, forehand. Looks kind of like Seth Jarvis, except left-handed.
Yeah. All right, actually, let's do it at this angle too.
Yeah,
See, he's already got the speed. And when you have that much speed, a good stick is only going to do so much, because
that's a hold right there, by the way. So he's like being held.
So even if you wanted to take a penalty and stop him,
it didn't help.
That official is really, really lucky that he didn't get Ryan over there. But
yeah, that's the linesman kind of, what are you doing over there, bud?
But this is good right here. And the cool thing about this is he's probably using as much of his peripheral vision as he is turning his head enough to sell the shot. So he's still able to hyper focus on what he wants to do here with driving the front of the net and everything. See, this is an underrated little high IQ thing here.
Look at that. Look at the balance in his skates.
The balance, and look at where his stick is. He anticipated that the guy defending him here was going to attempt a stick lift just to kind of disrupt what he was doing, and he preempted it, lifted his stick, and then he can go right back to getting it on the puck.
That's an old fencing trick. That's a disengage.
Yeah, that's essentially what it is.
Fencing. Yeah, it's like whoop. It's like you can't parry because whoop, boom, thing of beauty.
Absolutely frozen. Let's see what the next one looks like here.
That's an assist, I think. Yeah. Wait, no, that's his goal. The next one was an assist. Yeah. So the other one was a goal just on a stuff play on a rebound. Being in the right spot. That was an assist. Find the defenseman for the shot. Good shot assist there.
Okay, let me get the other one here. And you said 5:27 on the other one, right?
Yep. There's a specific thing that you got to see. This you got to see. Again, this is against, some electricians and some plumbers. But still, this is nuts. This clip right here is nuts.
I know that guy.
That is Andrew Jones.
Okay, you said 5:27.
5:27. That's the.
This is only a minute and 7 seconds long.
Isn't that the one we were just looking at? Or did I? Okay, you know what? Let me shoot.
Send it to me on X. It'll be easier for me to pull it up. That way.
Okay. Yeah. Hang on. Sorry. Let me.
No, you're fine, bud.
Bear with me, everyone. Let me see if I can find.
Did I accidentally send myself the same link twice? I don't think I did.
Okay. Let's make sure that this is the right one. Stupid ads. Yeah, no, okay. Now this is the second one that I texted you.
Okay.
It was definitely the right video. But I'll copy it and give it to you on X.
Yeah, my bad. I might have just accidentally.
It's all right. No problem. All right, gotta do it this way then.
Someone just tagged me with a picture of Mark Jankowski that said China days until we're back, because it's 77 days until the regular season.
Which, by the way, I took my PTO and I did PTO for that day. I'm going. I am absolutely going. No way in hell I'm going to not make that game. Got to see
I
the band go up.
unfortunately, I am not allowed to go, unfortunately, because I didn't go to the home open. I didn't go to the home opener this season, and they won. So,
oh, good. Yeah. So then you must stay home. Then it's your obligation.
I can't go to a game until
your duty as a
January. I can't go to a game until January.
Yeah, I only made it out to one game this year. I guess that means though that I can only go to one game. So because then they'll win the Stanley Cup. I just said it to you on X.
Yep, I'm pulling it up right now.
Make sure that it is indeed the right video. Yeah, it is. Okay. Yeah, that's the one. So 527. You can like kind of put it right here. See what? Actually, yeah, just hit play.
Okay.
So this is. I think he had just scored a goal here too. Look at this. This made the score like 7-0. It's like, yeah, whatever. Watch this. Ensuing draw.
That was nasty. That was really nasty. He will never do that at the NHL level.
I know that, but still, it's still nuts. It's
nuts, but you will never see him do that ever again. He will not. He
shouldn't be able
to
do that. He shouldn't be able to do that anywhere ever. Like, but
whatever's going on here,
scored,
this is
after he just
fair.
scored, he did that again. I mean, yeah. So again, this is the division, the slack, Division II league, but still, like I said, the level of competition doesn't change his ability to play.
Let's look at all this other stuff.
There's a lot. I mean, this is mostly the Division II stuff. And you see, I saw like kind of scores that looked ridiculous. Like there was the games that are ending like 10-0. And so
he loves that power move with speed to cut to the middle.
And he can do it on the forehand or the backhand.
Dude's out there playing pond hockey.
Yep. This is U20, actually, right here. Division 1, it's like Hockey a ton, I think. Yep. Got a deflection there. It goes on. Yeah, goodbye. Whoop. I'm telling you, man, this guy's electric. I mean, yeah, the resistance is not very high here, but still.
Well, I mean, Ryabkin went to play in the queue, and that was good for him, so it's kind of the same thing. Oh, my God, stupid ads. Go away. Go away. I'm trying to watch Viggo Sorensen do crazy stuff. Oh, the ads are going to just get progressively annoying. So, yeah, we'll do that another time.
I mean, that and we can, put those in the description if you want, like just links to his play. I mean, this guy is electric. He is absolutely dirty, and I think he's gonna put up. I think he's gonna score. I think he's gonna score in the NHL. I think he's gonna have a pretty good career. So that's what I got. Now I think we did want to comment just a little bit on the whole Nikishin thing. So let me tell you my thoughts. I think what's going on. I was actually talking with Katie Bartlett with this a little bit earlier today. So I think if he was actually going to, I could be surprised, but I think if he was going to get traded, it probably would have happened. Two things are holding it back. Number one, is the Hurricanes are asking for a good amount. They want a player back. They don't want picks back. They don't just want picks back. And Nikishin still, his asking price has put other teams off, even for a sign and trade. So, I mean, they could re-engage those trade talks, but I think what's going to happen more often is that he's just going to end up signing a bridge deal. And it may not happen for another month or two. Like it might get pretty close to training camp or even go into it. But the thing is, if Nikishin and his agent really want to get in a stare down with this office, see, the problem is like with Necas, he was arbitration eligible, and he actually. He had a much longer resume, and Nikishin. Although I think I'm always a believer in Nikishin. but he does not have. He's played a rookie year, played a pretty good rookie year, but still a rookie. It wasn't like Necas where people knew what Necas was. And, if he wants to get a stare down with the front office, he has no leverage. No one can offer sheet him, and he can't go to arbitration. He can hold out and do what? You're going to skip camp, skip the first 2 months and go play in Russia? That's a plan? Like, bruh, sign on the dotted line. Like, he can't, he has no leverage and like the Hurricanes have people that can replace him. And they won't, the team will not suffer.
They have an abundance of players who can take his spot.
Who can take his spot. So, like, it'd be one thing if he was like the top guy on the D-Corps. He's not. He might be one day, but he's not right now. So he has zero leverage against the front office. Hardball, when with Jake Gensel, that backfired because he was an unrestricted free agent. Hardball with Necas actually, it solved arbitration. He filed for it, but it never went there. They ended up signing the bridge deal. But Nikishin has far less leverage than either of those two did. So if he really wants to get in a stare down for the office, he's going to lose. Like, it does nothing but hurt him financially and hurt his career.
Well, here's the other thing we have to consider, regardless of whether he takes a bridge deal or the less likely outcome of him taking a long-term deal. Part of why I think that he was a little bit underwhelming was because he was playing with Ghost, and he was kind of more the safety valve type of player for him than he was the offensive puck mover that we know he can be. Is it time to let him have an increased role, regardless of what the contract is, in the event that he's back with the Hurricanes when the next season starts? Because I'm going to piss people off when I say this, but I was right the last time I said it about Pesce and Shea. Everything has their day, or everything has its day. 74-5 have ran its course. It will not replicate the results, the not great results, if you're looking at it in the grand scheme of things, that it had. Because there were times that was the worst pair that Carolina had in the playoffs.
Yeah.
It was effective against Montreal for 4 games, and it was effective against Vegas for 3, if you're really looking at it. And Ottawa and Philadelphia never had a chance to win those series anyway, but they didn't have to do much. I'm a firm believer that 74-5 needs to not be a thing next season. And if that means bumping Nikishin up at least long enough to see if it'll work, I think that needs to happen.
And I think the Ghost Chatfield pair should be really good.
Like, we've already seen it before.
Chatfield is going to be the safety valve for Ghost.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree. And see, the thing is, I want Nikishin to have that role. I think he could be the offside, cannon. Like that, it almost worked in game 1 against Vegas. That puck should have gone in.
Yeah.
Vegas got really lucky it didn't. So, yeah, more of that.
Yeah, no, that's the other thing. It's like, I'm reluctant to give up on this player. And you and I are both big believers in him. We have been pretty much the entire time. I know that there's a little bit of concern because he's a little bit on the slower side with the skating and everything. That's something that can be worked on to where he can pick up a step. He's still young. I think he was a little bit rattled when Clevin got him in the head. I'm reluctant to give up on this guy because it's pretty apparent what he can be. So, and it's also like, I think there's a necessity to not pretend that Slavin Chatfield is a good idea long-term. It worked this year because it was kind of, the way the defense was configured was the best with the options you had at the point that it was at. But now it's like, there's one thing I love about this fan base, and I don't like it at the same time. They absolutely love and revere guys like Jordan Martinook and Jalen Chatfield. And that's a good thing because grinders, depth players, role players, they don't get enough respect generally around the league. There are a million people out there who I would ask, who would you rather have kill a penalty, Quinn Hughes or Jacob Slavin? And they would say Quinn Hughes because he might score shorthanded, which is stupid. Carolina, as I have noticed, compared to a lot of other fan bases, they have a great adulation for the Chad LaRose type of players. That's a good thing. However, They also have let it blind them to the point where they think guys like Chatfield and Martinook are not, and I'm not talking about them as people, mind you. Let me just make that abundantly clear. I understand how important they are to the team because of how long they've been around and what they've done for it, especially now with this offseason. Their skill set is not the hardest to go out and replace, and you can typically do it for less money or get an upgrade for not much more money. So, that being said, Jacob Slavin is still at a point in his career where he can have a lethal, risk-taking, puck-moving defenseman to his right and be effective. Additionally, I think a risk-taking, puck-moving defenseman to his right makes his job easier. I'd rather him only have to shut down 4 or 5 odd-man rushes a game as opposed to someone who's parallel with him a lot more of the time, and he's having to do it more often. Mm-hmm. So, I'm okay with the team not making any big moves right now. You have until March 18th or whatever the trade deadline is next year to solve that problem. That does not have to be solved right now. Okay,
if it even becomes a problem.
If it even is a problem. Okay, yeah, Florida's top 9 got better. No, I'm not, or Florida got better ultimately because they have what's probably
the goaltending got worse.
Their goaltending got significantly worse. And if people think that Jacob Markstrom is going to suddenly just stonewall the Hurricanes, there is quite the history there that I can show you he will not.
Nuh-uh.
But the thing about it is, it's like I'm reluctant. A lot of people are saying Florida is going to fall off. I'm reluctant to say that because of the Hurricanes. If we had $1 for every time, Gensel walked, it's over. Then you had the free agency that happened after that, where everyone acted like the world was ending because Pesce, Shea, Teravainen, Nason all left. And out of all those guys, I was like, who they replaced Shea and Pesce with in particular. 1, you had a known quantity, and 2, you had a guy who's more dynamic and more complete of a player than Pesce is in Sean Walker. So I'm not worried about stuff like that personally. If it's even something that has to be addressed, like you're saying. My firm belief is, though, there is one thing that does not need to be carried deep into next season, and that is the 74-5 pair. Now, how you solve that problem, there's a multitude of different ways to do it. You trade Nikishin and bring somebody in, or you trade Nikishin for, I don't know, a forward, and then you let Nystrom and Legault fight for that 6th spot. That's totally fine. Bunch of different options there. I just don't want 74-5 to become a long-term thing. Because I can tell you right now, if the Hurricanes had extended Pesce and Shea both and expected that pair to maintain its magic, they would not have won the Cup this year. Right. I can tell you that for certain. Mm-hmm. Everything has a shelf life. Everything has an expiration date. And I think the next expiration date is the effectiveness of the 74-5 pair. And then not to mention, you need someone with a little bit more of an offensive touch than what Chatfield has to make Slavin his most effective. Because there's a lot of times where Chatfield was shooting pucks or trying to make plays that people that have more offensive skill sets would have made it work. Now, that's not me saying that I want Chatfield to go. I don't want that. If they extend it, I'm fine with it.
But he was shooting it in everyone's shin pads and the puck goes the other way.
It was almost worse than Orlov about that, testing people's shin pads.
At least when Nikishin hits someone in the shin pad,
he hurts them.
He hurts them. And it's like, you do the other shin pad, you're going to get a contusion or it's going to shatter your bone.
Yeah.
We saw that. He's
contributing to the war of attrition with his shot.
Right. Not many people are going to be, they're going to be willing to do it, but they're going to pay a price. Whereas, Chatfield, definitely compared to Nikishin, his shot's a muffin.
Yeah. That's the whole thing about it. It's like
Slavin's got a better shot than Chatfield does.
Yeah, and that says something because Slavin's got, when it comes to shooting ability on the Hurricanes, Jacob Slavin is that guy that's kind of like right there in the middle. It's not a muffin, but he's not even a top 7 guy on the team if you're talking in shooting ability. And it's not even just ability, it's just he doesn't shoot the puck often because it's just not what he does. That's not his skill set. And I'm fine with that. He's more valuable in 2/3 of the ice than in 1/3 of it. That's totally fine. It's just, I just don't see 74-5 working out the way that he did or the way that Slavin did with Hamilton, D'Angelo, and the original iteration of Brent Burns. That's the only problem. So I think that if they're going to keep Nikishin, they got to let him start having that.
Was like the most explosive skater either, especially towards the end.
No, well, see, the thing is, Burns, the reason he was able to transition the zone so well, it wasn't his speed, it was his frame for one thing, and he had the hockey IQ to go with it. So, he'd be skating at you, at a moderate or, maybe kind of a fast speed. And then he would 1 foot pivot around you. And when you think you got to stick to him, he would just, pump the shoulders a little bit, and you couldn't get it away from him because of how damn big he was. So, it's like that's how Burns created transition plays, was using his frame and using his intelligence. So
honestly, Nikishin could do that too.
He could, but he's got to start playing that role. He's never going to develop that skill set being the safety valve for Ghost.
Yeah, I agree. So honestly, like with the whole thing of like reportedly Nikishin being like upset with his role and upsetting a lot of Hurricanes fans for saying that, apparently, reportedly, even though it's probably coming through his agent, he's got a point. Like he should be playing high. He should be playing up. He should be getting more minutes. And, honestly, at this point, I'm willing to give him like Miller's, Miller money and extension. I'd be willing to do it.
See, I'm not ready.
You're not willing to give, like I honestly, I'm thinking at this point, like 8x8.
I'm not ready to go
yet.
Miller.
I'm like,
no,
I believe in like, sure.
I'm not ready to go with Miller money, but here's the problem. That's kind of out of the Hurricanes' hands at this point, because when you look at the contract that Menchikov signed, that kind of set the market for that. That's the problem.
And Nikishin knows that, and his agent knows that. The thing is, though, I mean, like they can say that, and if they had any kind of leverage, that would have been, a really good tactic. But they don't have leverage.
They got Zegras for under $10 million.
Zegras just signed.
Yeah, for under $10 million apparently. Wow, that's a good deal.
That's not bad.
He's not making much more money than Aho, so I mean.
Yeah, now I mean Zegras has improved. He definitely improved a lot last year.
His defensive game has come a long way, but I think
it definitely got better.
Beat that into him. I think
it definitely got better. So he could be kind of like an Aho style, center.
Yeah, he could. He
could too,
because he can skate like he's a damn good skater. So I mean, the ability is there, and once he does have the puck, he's got some great hands and everything like that. It's like I actually need to go clip this. I know I've said that like 50 times, but when the first time Derek and I streamed together, and he's like, "Yeah, the Flyers basically collected the Justice League of the shootout," and I just about died laughing when he said that. But it was But the thing about it is like
and then we beat him at the shootout twice.
Or as Derek referred to it, unethical hockey, because they would just punt a game to overtime and then punt it to a shootout to win, and the Hurricanes were the only team that they couldn't seem to do that against. Yeah. But the whole thing about it is that the only reason I'm not ready to give Nikishin a Miller-ish type of contract is Miller had the resume to earn that type of contract a little bit more than he did, in my opinion, because the other thing is with K'Andre Miller, you saw what he was capable of against the Hurricanes, more notably maybe than any other time. And Miller's skating is, I won't say miles ahead of Nikishin, but it is definitely better than his. So that's the only thing about it. If Nikishin's skating was a little bit better, 8x8, I'd be totally fine with. That is a fair market value for him.
What they could do is they probably won't break this up because Miller and Walker were very effective. But
God, don't break that pair up, please.
You don't know, but I mean, I'm saying you could do Slavin Walker and then Miller Nikishin.
You could, but Nikishin is a high risk, high enough player. And don't get me wrong, K'Andre Miller exceeded my expectations for this season. I thought it was gonna take until next year before he got to where he is now. I feel like there's a little bit too much high risk puck management to have Nikishin and Miller on the same pair between the two of them, especially with both of them being left-handed. Here's what I think needs to happen. It needs to be a fork in the road here. If you keep Nikishin, put him with Slavin, give it a decent amount of time before you write that pair off if they do get burned a few times. Or go ahead and do whatever you have to do now, get Nikishin moved, and fill that spot however you want to fill it, whether that's with bringing somebody in by trading Nikishin, Nystrom, Legault, whatever option that you want to do there, make a decision. Say we are keeping Nikishin and he's playing with Slavin, or send Nikishin to China and bring somebody back that Carolina needs. Pick one of the two and go with it. Like that's something they have to commit to because they've invested a lot of the planning for the future in Nikishin. We all know this. If they are not going to commit to him long term, or at least get a foundational idea of if they are going to commit to him long term with a bridge deal, they need to just go ahead and get this saga over with before we end up with KK 2.0.
Fair enough.
And the one thing that does kind of lend credence to the Rabkin theory is the fact that they didn't buy him out. That being KK.
Yeah, well, maybe. I mean, like, I think that's more to do with like just Tom Dundon. I think absolutely refuses to buy anyone out. I think he's against it on principle. So I think that's part of it. Even though, because like it made all the sense in the world to do it, and he just didn't do it. Like, I don't know. Like he's gonna be ended up on the opening night. If not lineup, then KK will still be in the roster, and it's gonna be like he's the cockroach, like he just survives.
He just won't go away. See,
that's the other. Can't get rid of him.
I saw someone call him Cockroach in Niami, and I was like, that's a catchy name. Yeah. Well, I mean, he'll get his very, very uphill shot at earning his spot back in training camp. Very uphill battle for him if he's going to do that, but. If you're creating competition to see who your centers are behind Aho, Stankoven, and Stahl, it's not a bad problem, really.
Just showing that up here. I'll just run through the comments, and I think we'll be done here. So,
okay.
Philly will be interesting. Yeah, I think they're a playoff team. I think they'll stay on the playoff team.
I think they'll finish second in the Metro.
You think they're still ahead of the Caps? Yeah, I mean the Caps.
I'm not a believer in Washington.
You're not a believer in them at all.
They have done this so many times, and I'm not just talking about in recent memory since the Hurricanes started making the playoffs again. If I had $1 for every time that I was in Virginia, or when I still lived in Virginia, well, sign this guy in free agency. They're going to win the cup this year. Oh, look, you lost to Pittsburgh again in 6 games. Congratulations. It's just the difference is now they're losing in Carolina to 5. Like that's it.
And furthermore, I mean, like I think this could be like one of the things was like, oh yeah, the Caps won the offseason just like Nashville won the offseason.
Nashville. How's that working out for Nashville? How's that $49 million that you paid Brady Shea? You still got a hole burning in your pocket from that one?
Mm-hmm. For Stamkos. Yeah. I mean, and Stamkos, like he can still put up some points, but yeah, they got older and slower. So 8x8 is good value in the market. I mean, yeah, maybe. I mean, just with the way, and someone else commented, we'll get to the other comment later. I mean, like 8x8, this, even though he hasn't really earned it and Miller is better, that's what the market is. Like you said, with Michikov getting what he got, it's just the market's changed. And
that's how the Hurricanes got priced out of Pesce, remember, because Damon Severson, I think it was, signed the contract.
And he's I don't like him. I don't like Severson. I think he sucks. I don't think he's any good. So all right. Zegras was our 2C target. Hey, no, well, we've got our 2.5C until 2034.
Yeah. And I will never admit that he is anything more than that.
Not a bit. One bit.
And then when he signs another extension on July 1st, 2034, I will then continue to not admit that because I just won't.
Not one bit, not a bit. Nope. Philly and the Caps are the one in Metro I'm curious to see. I think Philly's better. I mean, and credit to their office, like throwing that $18 million at Leo Carlson.
I didn't think they were going to match
it. I thought they were. Pat Verbeek kind of put himself into a corner there where he said he would match any offer sheet, and it's not like
I don't think he had that in mind though. I think he was just he didn't think anybody was going to throw $18 million freaking dollars at him.
Neither did Leo Carlson. He wasn't like that. Wasn't really what he was looking for. But then obviously that deal, like his agent's like, hey, do I have news for you? It's like, listen, buddy. And apparently, like he said, like his parents were like, son, sign it.
Either way, you're going to get the money.
Yeah. He's like, son, sign this. And I mean, like some people are mad. It's like, where's your loyalty to your team? It's like, oh, well, it's right there for $18 million a year. That's where my loyalty is. And there's not a person in the world, not you nor me would have made a different decision.
No, I wouldn't have. That's why I get mad at people for like being mad at Aho for the offer sheet. Okay, so let's bring it back to real world examples here because I love to use those to get people to like calm down when they get their pitchforks out and they want to start riots over stuff like this. If you have a job and you get an offer letter from another company saying we will pay you this much more than what your current employer is paying you, and you take that to your current employer, and you say match this or I'm out, and then it's up to them whether they do it or not, it is the exact same thing. It's just a significantly higher amount of money.
Yep.
So I was not pissed about that, especially considering at the time, especially the reputation that Tom Dundon was another Mark Cuban and that he was going to nickel and dime everybody, including the future franchise player. I would have done the same thing just for the sake of let's not drag this out and let's get it done.
Pat Verbeek is that person, though. He is that person.
Yeah,
who's
he
like
is.
gonna nickel and dime the franchise players, and he's paying the price for it. So, yep. Going on again. I think the Canes win the Metro. Curious if we win the East again. I think we're the best in the East. I think we are.
I do too.
I mean, barring something unforeseen like injuries, I think we're the best team.
Yeah, they got through them last time. I'm not worried about that.
In fact, here's the thing that might be a little concerning, though. I think we're the best team in the league, and which means we might win the President's Trophy and get that curse. So
that's not going to
that could be
happen.
a problem.
That's not going to happen.
Who's going to have it? I think Colorado's taking a step back. Who's going to have a better record than us? I don't know.
Let me think about it for a minute. Call me crazy for this, but you know who I think
Minnesota?
actually. That's what I was about to say. That's the
Yeah.
one team I think that has such a good opportunity to just really run over.
I think
the
Minnesota
Western
can
Conference.
challenge that for that division, actually, but I don't think they're going to be better than the Hurricanes in overall record. Could be wrong.
Well, look
But-
at the competition the Hurricanes are going to face versus what Minnesota's going to face. Minnesota's going to
That's
run
true,
over
yeah.
a lot of the West. That's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like,
Well, Colorado did.
yeah, Colorado did. I just think Minnesota's going to do what Colorado did last season. I'm really curious to see how Colorado's going to do, because they can either stay where they were at or fall off a cliff. I don't think that there's much room to go up for them with how things are now.
I think they'll be better. I think they'll
be better?
improve. Yeah, I think
Yeah.
Wallstedt will improve.
Yeah, Wallstedt will be better. The team that I'm expecting to make the playoffs in a semi-surprising manner is San Jose. I think that they will.
I think they're ready.
I think they will go in at least wild card 1, but I wouldn't be surprised if they place in the top 3, considering it's the Pacific Division.
Yep.
So
Yep.
I think that not only
with
will they make
Stenberg
it,
now, with Stenberg and some of they solidified their decor a little bit. They're still a little thin there, I would say. They probably will need to make a move at the deadline, but I think they're going to make it in. Yeah,
I do too. Well, I don't think they're just going to make it by the skin of their teeth. I think they'll lock up a spot.
I think
like
they'll
4
be. I
games
think
out.
they'll be like. I think they'll be Pacific 3 or wild card 1. I agree with you.
That's what I think.
And so Mr. Irma Wizard says, I think we're going to have to come to terms with the fact that our previous contracts can't inform our future contracts with where the market is going. I think that's true.
Yeah,
I
that's
agree.
absolutely
it's
true.
With the rising cap and just especially with just the amount of dollars that are flying around in this offseason.
That was the
Like-
biggest salary cap increase in the history of the league, and it was significantly larger than the previous one.
Let me say this though, because this is something that happened a few weeks ago. That the agent Alan Walsh.
Oh God,
I can't stand that son of a bitch. Like, I am so sick of his ass.
and he's trying to act like it's all ethical and stuff. No, you want to make more
Yeah,
money,
no.
bro.
He acts like yeah, that's the thing. He acts like he's like this crusader for players' rights. It's like, first of all, you ain't on the union. You ain't related to Marty Walsh. There is no relation there. And you are looking to line your own damn pocket. Don't for a second pretend otherwise. And third of all, he acts like, because the tweet he sent out, for those of you who aren't aware, was like, I bet a lot of young players who signed the contract last year left a lot of money on the table, and that's a real shame. It's like, shut the fuck up. Get
Seriously.
lost, you piece of crap. Like, you're acting like, first of all, are Logan Stankoven and Jackson Blake going to starve? Are they going to starve? They have job security. They have a great team, and they're making a pretty decent chunk of change. I think they're going to be okay.
And one of the lowest cost markets in the league, cost of living.
I think they're going to be all right, Alan. I don't think they need the likes of you to represent them just to make sure that you can line your bank account.
Okay, let me ask you this,
With
because
that
I already know what
bullshit.
my answer is. If I'm given the opportunity to make a $12 million AAV and never win anything, or be unlikely to win anything, or make $6 million and win 1 Stanley
4
Cup,
cups.
maybe more,
Yeah.
I'm taking the cups. I'm just saying. And then not to mention, it's like, this is not the only revenue. Okay, here's some other things. If players are smart,
They
this
can
is not the
invest.
revenue.
Yeah.
This is not going to be the only revenue stream they have. Aho makes money from Bauer, for example, because he's sponsored by them now. He has been for 2 seasons now. They do all their other little sponsorship deals, endorsements, and everything like that. Because, all right, Michael Jordan made more money off of shoes than he made off of playing basketball. George Lucas made more money off of toys than he did movies.
From the movies.
You don't, the thing that you're known for making money for is probably not what you make your most money from. And then additionally, as far as taxes this, taxes that, if you're smart, you're dumping all that into non-taxable like IRAs and 401ks and shit, whatever they have that they can invest in, whatever their equivalent of it is. And they're going around a lot of that anyway, so that when they are done playing, whenever that is, they have a bigger chunk of change than they would have had if they went out and spent it on stupid stuff. I remember I watched that Amazon show with the episode with Seth Jarvis. The dude is driving, I think, a Honda CRV with a cracked windshield. I respect that. I respect the hell out of that.
Honestly, his apartment looked a little bit like mine.
Yeah,
when I was a bachelor.
I think my second apartment was bigger than the one he lives in now. I have nothing but respect for guys who choose to live that way with that type of money. Like there was that guy who played for the New York Giants. He bought a house that was only like $350,000. People were like, man, what are you doing? I'm like, he's being intelligent. That's what he's doing.
He's not spending money on square feet he doesn't use.
Yeah. Like, why would you do that? Why does LeBron James need 23 houses? He doesn't. You can only be in one at a time.
At that point, it's status. At that point,
yeah.
Anyway,
and you know what? The status that Stankoven and Blake and guys like that chose to get the status of having their name on the Stanley Cup,
of the Stanley Cup
along
champion.
with noted Golden Doodle Dax Duncan.
Dax Duncan. All right. Ethan says, how much priority do y'all put into looking at Taylor Hall's future replacement on the second line? Do you skip it for next season, but eventually age out of that spot? Is a player ready in the system, or do we add it to the shopping list? I do think we have players in the system. I think obviously Nadeau, Felix Unger-Sorum, they can be their top six forwards that can play on a second line for sure. Beyond that, I mean, like we're looking a little further into the future, might have to, look at a deal or something like that, some kind of trade for acquisition. I think Taylor Hall, I mean, he got better as the year went on.
Yeah. See, the thing is with Taylor Hall,
he dominated the playoffs. I mean, we'll see, because Father Time can hit you quick, but golly, he looks every bit, because I was thinking, is Taylor Hall really a top six forward? I think like top 9, maybe even fourth line guy, but man, he's like, no.
See, the thing with Taylor,
number 1 overall pick, and I'm going to show it.
See, the thing is with Taylor Hall, I think you have to go to market to replace him, because it wasn't just what he did on the ice. It was the experience that he brought with him that was so valuable. So I think to replace a player like Taylor Hall, you have to go get somebody similar skill set, similar amount of experience. So I think that's something you're going to have to go to market to replace ultimately, because I don't want to replace Taylor Hall with Bradley Nadeau 1-for-1, for example.
Not exactly.
So a player like that, I would like to go get somebody to replace in the event that or when that necessity eventually arises. That's something I'd rather go out and get somebody. Now, I don't know who that is right now, but that I would much rather replace Taylor Hall with another, for lack of a better term, 30-year-old that's been around for a while. If you can find one with a similar skill set. I think that's one of those. It's the same. The one player on this team you truly cannot replace that is not long for the team possibly is Jordan Staal. There will be no legitimate. The closest thing you have to a Jordan Staal replacement is already on the team, and that's Aho.
Yep.
Ever since Katie said that to me, I was like, you know what? I mean, she's a smart woman. And I'm like, she's right. Like, you don't replace him. The closest thing you have to it is already going to be the next captain, even though people are going to bitch about it, but we'll get to that. Don't worry. There will be plenty of that to discuss in the future. That's going to make my blood boil. Like, you're going to see my mom's side of the family come out real quick when that start happens.
So Katie and we talked about that today too, about how, people are saying that they should strip Staal of the captaincy and give it to Aho. It's like,
okay. That's also stupid.
Over Rod's dead body, over my dead body, over Aho's dead body. Aho's not going to do that.
Throw me on that list too.
Yeah, it's absolutely ridiculous.
After what he did, no way. Absolutely
not.
He sees this through to the end, whenever that is for him.
Not a believer in Toronto. I can see them back, possibly being back in the playoffs. Nope, they will miss again.
The only way that they make the playoffs is that they fluke into wild card 2, and there's a bunch of other teams with injuries. That team's way too inexperienced at this point. And their defense is not that good. Yeah, they have a few elite offensive forwards and everything like that. But when it comes to the sandwich, Toronto has the top piece of bread and nothing else underneath it. They're not even a piece of toast.
And you see, like McKenna is going to put up points, but he does not have what Toronto needs, which is a structured two-way game. He does not have that. He could get it one day, but he doesn't have it now. And so he will not change their fortune. He will put up points. He'll do some highlights. He'll put up some points. He'll like be Mitch Marner-esque in a lot of ways, but he doesn't fix their main problem. It's not that I say it was a bad pick or anything like that. He's definitely the most skilled player in the draft. Stenberg was a more complete player, though. Like Stenberg actually might have helped them more this year than McKenna will. So I think that Toronto's going to miss again. I don't know if they'll take a step back. I think they might do a little bit better, but I still see them on the outside looking at maybe a bubble team that'll just
losing Marner hurt them more than they were going to admit.
It hurt them a lot because Marner could play defense. He could back check. He was a two-way guy, and McKenna does not have that in his game yet. He'll need to develop it. So, pouring out for Freddie, about to get decimated behind the Oilers defense. I mean, all of a sudden, by the way, now Freddie is
now he's good. Now he's good
because
he's not
great.
wearing a Hurricane sweater anymore.
Now he's the best goalie in the West. Yeah, and it will carry Edmonton to the promised land. It's like
I spent years hearing, if Carolina had went to the finals instead of Florida, Edmonton would have beat them because of the goaltending. And you had Stuart Skinner in net. Don't give me that.
Noticing Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Pepperidge Farm remembers.
Is there we've checked in on Simon Edvinsson? I mean, sure we have. I see
he's a good player.
Again, now with Yzerman getting the boot, I mean that's a whole new thing we got to negotiate with. So
I don't even know what direction. See, here's the thing. Here's what I think happened. I'm actually glad that this came up, and I know we talked about it a little bit before. Mm-hmm. I'm wondering if Larkin ever actually wanted out, or if he just pulled a 4D chest power move
to get rid of Yzerman. Yeah,
I'm starting to think that's what actually happened.
That actually makes a lot of sense.
That's what I think happened.
Because if he really wanted out, because I've been saying this entire time, like if I was Yzerman, I'd be like, you're reporting to camp.
Yeah,
like this is bull. You don't just like I gotta go to a place where I can win. Here are these three teams that can't afford me.
Yeah, and he dragged his feet with expanding his list too. So I think it was more of
put another team on there that was not going to be able to do it.
Yeah, that's what I think was actually happening, was that he's like, maybe if I request a trade, that'll strong arm the ownership to get Yzerman out. That's what I think actually happened.
I think that makes a lot
maybe
of sense.
Maybe it's an unintended result even, but I think that this moves the needle in the direction of Larkin and Edvinsson staying as opposed to leaving now. Because Larkin's from Michigan and everything. I don't think that he really wanted to go. It's just they were kind of in playoff purgatory, so he was trying to do something.
I didn't playoff purgatory the regular season. They were in Hurricanes purgatory.
Or not making playoff purgatory, I should say. But it's like I think he made a 4D chest power move. I really do. I mean, maybe one day we'll know, but that's what I think happened.
That makes the most sense. That's the most rational way to look at his actual actions, because I was looking at this whole situation and be like, he wasn't being rational, like demanding a trade, but only to 3 teams that couldn't do it, or 4 teams that couldn't do it. That made no sense.
Yeah.
So that what you say there makes a lot of sense. I like it. Philly offer shooting Fantilli. Did they do this, or is this just? I haven't heard anything.
Oh no, it would be all over the feed if it actually.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe they just threw a decent amount of their cap at Zegras, but I think they got still a good amount of cap left. I mean, maybe. I mean, Briere did it once; he could do it again. Although, Fantilli didn't file for arbitration or anything, did he?
I don't think so.
Yeah, so he can be offer sheeted still. Yeah, maybe. Montreal could have an insanity run for the President's Trophy.
Yes.
I mean, maybe. I mean,
Montreal
that Atlantic division is tough.
It is, but Montreal has a long list of easily solvable problems. They already know who their best players are. They have one of the best top lines in the league. They have one of the best puck-moving defensemen in the league, who's very young and only going to get better. They have one of the best goalies in the league, because Jacob Dobish is going to get – and they've got all of them on good contracts. Montreal, the thing with them, they kind of solved their problem in the opposite order that the Hurricanes did. The Hurricanes built out their depth and their structure and everything like that first. Montreal They traded for and drafted their top guys, and they're building the bottom of the depth chart now and building the defense now. In the case of their sandwich, the top piece of bread and the bottom piece of bread, great. In the middle, need some more pickles, maybe a few more slices of roast beef. That's some lot. Maybe some cheese. They don't have a whole lot that they have to do to make that team better, and the types of players they need to acquire are going to be significantly easier to acquire, whether it's through drafting or trades or free agency, than building out your core guys first. So, because when you look at a team like Montreal, when you look at their core players, you talk about, as far as depth guys go, you maybe talk about Jake Evans. And then who's the other one? Dano. You maybe talk about them. When you talk about the Hurricanes core, you're talking about Martinook, you're talking about Stahl, you're talking about Blake, and that's even before you get to talking about Aho, Svechnikov, and Jarvis. So they just they did the same thing that Carolina did, just in a different order. And I think that's a team I can see loading up a lot at the deadline with the types of players they need to kind of fill out the rest of their depth chart.
And San Luis is a great coach.
San Luis is an excellent coach.
Like I was doing a little comparison, of like what makes certain players good coaches and other players not good coaches. Like obviously the big one is of course Wayne Gretzky. And what I discovered was that Wayne Gretzky, he just gets it. And he just gets it better than anyone else ever. And the thing is, you can't teach that. You can't teach just insane supercomputer hockey IQ. But Martin St. Louis, and Rob Brind'Amour does it in a different way, but Martin St. Louis was a small guy, undrafted, incredibly skilled. Necessarily can't teach the skill, but he can teach, like, look, the world is against me. How are you going to act? How are you gonna figure this out? And he also understands like leverage, what the things that you can teach, how to leverage your body in ways to protect the puck, even if you're of smaller stature, how to use your speed to your advantage. So he has things that he can teach, and he is teaching his players. Rod Brind'Amour also, the responsible game, the structure, the working on creating a center out of a winger. He's got
creating a point per game center out of a 70-point winger.
Yeah.
I don't think people still comprehend the miracle that was.
Yeah.
And it only happened because Victor Rask went samurai on his own hand.
Yep. Poor Victor Rask.
I hate I liked him. I hate that his career
he was a good player. Yeah.
Yeah.
But trading him for Nino Niederreiter was like one of the best.
Genius. Absolutely genius. I remember when I saw that trade come across and I looked at it, I'm like,
the trade is 1-for-1.
That's what surprised me about it the most. When I saw it come across initially, I was like, okay, what else did Carolina give up to make this happen? And I saw it was 1-for-1. I was like, holy shit.
Thing. Yeah.
And then that
was a highlight of Don Waddell's tenure here. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, the Gensel trade was good. The end result was bad.
Fair enough.
Because he got Gensel for a pretty... he didn't give up too much to get Jake Gensel.
True.
Because who was it? It was Bunting, Ponomarev, and
Koivunen.
Yeah, so like three guys that were
kind
never
of
going
in the league, kind of not. He's like a 4A player.
Yeah, none of those guys would have ended up playing significant roles for the Hurricanes organization. So like that was an excellent job. But yeah, and then going on to the next comment here that TTC has, I think one of those Atlantic teams will have a big regular season, win the President's Trophy, not sure which. Florida could. Montreal could. Now, I'm not saying they're going to win the President's Trophy, but a team I think that is only going to get better is Ottawa. I know I've expressed that on many occasions.
Yeah.
I think that they did the right thing, but like they needed to make one big significant change, and they did that through the Brady Tkachuk trade. And all their best players are locked up long term. Their defense,
and they got
really
William Eklund.
And they've got William Eklund. Yes, I think that they have made excellent decisions, and I think that team is going to be significantly better. I think they will at least
depending
be
on
in
the
contention
goaltending a lot, but yeah.
Ullmark can turn it on though, man. We saw that.
It's like he's streaky. We saw the streaky good, but he's also can be streaky bad. So we'll see there. And with Florida, I mean, I think they'll be a playoff team, but their goaltending is going to hold them back. Like they're going to lose games they should have won because they let in
that were games where they still score 5 goals and still lose.
Or something like that. That's going to happen with them a significant amount of time. I think they'll probably still be in the play. I don't think they'll win the division though. I'm
going to get JJ on here and be like, hey, what do you think of Jacob Markstrom in Florida? And I cannot wait to hear what he says about that. He's going to be like, all right, good luck, guys.
Yeah. To me, like Bill Zito can do a lot of good, like pulling off the Brady Tkachuk trade is a feat. Like that is a feat that, I did not expect. I did not expect it to actually happen. But then it's like, bruh, what? And from what I heard, they could have had Freddie. They chose Markstrom over Freddie.
If they did that, then
They chose Markstrom over Freddie. That's what I've heard.
all right.
All right.
Good luck.
That's a choice. Talking about scummy agents while the entire business of college football. Yeah.
Yeah,
NIL ruined that.
it did.
So I think we lack a true power forward to replace Hall in that line. My dream was Nyes. That seems to be a pipe dream. We put Nando there. The line is too small. Yeah, you got a point. I mean, the thing is, like, we draft a specific type of forward. All the forwards, I love them. The forwards that we drafted here, they're all under 6 feet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's this size in the forward core. We're going to have to look elsewhere.
And then drafted a tree for the defense.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing is we like that. We like large, rangy, lanky defensemen and small skilled forwards. Like that's why my kingdom for a Tage Thompson, a big forward that just does stuff. Yeah, over my dead body as well. Absolutely. Jim Hiller behind the bench. Yeah. I mean, Hiller is,
he's maybe, if you're ranking NHL coaches, he's probably 20th.
Yeah. I mean, he's not terrible. Berube was not the right coach for Toronto. Not that Berube's a bad coach, but he was not the right coach for Toronto. I think Jim Hiller is a little bit of a better fit, but it'll take some time. It'll take some time for that to really jump. I mean, I think when McKenna develops, Toronto could get its act together. But the thing is, like Toronto, they're like the Mets. They're cursed. They whenever they should get their act together, they don't. So, yeah, I'm just never gonna believe in Toronto until they actually do something, which I don't think will ever happen. Hurricanes would have won the cup against Edmonton in 2025. Yes, they would.
Oh, easily. Well, not easily, but
they would have beaten it. They would have beaten them. Yeah.
You know who I'm surprised didn't find another job yet, as far as a head coaching job, is Jay Woodcroft.
Woodcroft.
I think he's a very good coach, and I think if he'd had a more balanced lineup in Edmonton, it would have been a lot better. I'm surprised Toronto didn't look at him.
Speaking of which, I've also thought about the post Brindamore era of coaching.
That he's number one on my list. We're going to have to
think about that too. And I would say Woodcroft would be the guy.
Yeah.
I think he's a guy we'd have to really consider.
Unless Justin Williams decides he wants to do it, and then I would just be like, let him.
Or maybe if Jordan Stahl decides he wants to.
Jordan Stahl
he'd
would
probably
be
like
coach.
An assistant. I think he can be a good coach too. I think he's going to be like maybe an assistant first, kind of like what Tim Gleason's doing. They could go with Gleason or Daniels. I don't know about Daniels, but I think Gleason might could do it. So that's something we're going to have to think about too, because I think he will retire as soon as Jordan Stahl does.
I'm not sure about that.
You're not sure about that? All right.
No.
Maybe he'll just play out. Maybe he'll just coach out his contract and then hang it up then.
See, the thing is, and the other thing is, Rod is going to coach Carolina as long as he wants to, which I'm fine with, especially after the result of this year. But here's the one thing I do think about, though. In the future, like if you want to continue to kind of stick with the culture that you have, you might want to hope that someone like Jordan Stahl or Justin Williams wants to be a coach, because you would have Gleason, because you would have a continuation of everything that Rod already did, and then the nepotism memes would be hilarious. Yep. Like that's the other thing I want out of it.
Like the people that want Jordan Stahl to lose the captaincy, it's like, all right. Now he's the coach. That'd be hilarious.
Yeah, it's like so that would be the funniest press conference ever. Funny. Okay, guys, we have an announcement. Jordan Stahl is no longer the captain of the Hurricanes.
He's the coach. He's actually the coach now.
So he doesn't wear a letter anymore, but now he is more in charge than he was before. So no, I think Jordan would make a good coach. You know who else? A recent Hurricane that I think would make an excellent coach is Brent Burns. I think he would be a really good coach. He's really good with the young guys.
The Wolves coach, Spiros Anastos, I like him a lot too.
He's going to get an NHL job sooner rather than later. He's very good.
The one thing that Zergastani is team friendly. No,
yes,
I think that's a pretty darn good deal.
Yes, that is very team friendly.
9.15 or something, like 9.25.
Yeah, because I misread it at first. I thought he got Leo Carlson money at first. I was like, what the fuck? Then I read it again and I was like, oh, okay, no, that's a good deal for him.
Yep. Curious to see the Panthers this year. Not as much believer as the media is. I mean, like that's the thing. It's their goaltending is going to hold them back. Their goaltending. I mean, honestly, they might try to solve it at the deadline. Knowing Zito can pull off like the crazy trade that you don't think he can do. So he's got that ability to him. He's got not that he's a bad GM, but like he's a great GM in terms of like actually making a trade. Like he's one of the best at the.
He's like Rutherford.
Yeah, he can
He's
really make a good trade.
He can do that, but if it comes time where Florida needs to actually hit the hammer and rebuild, he's going to have to go.
Yeah, and he also apparently he's just a bad evaluator of goaltending talent. Like I like it. That's just not his thing. He just can't do that.
And Freddie's AAV came in under Markstrom's, right?
Yeah, choosing Markstrom over Freddie. That's going to hold this team back. That's going to hold them back. It's in my stomach of Freddie in the Panthers jersey. I mean, like, thank God that's God's providence in action right there. It is. I mean, like him in Edmonton is also kind of poetic irony in a lot of ways.
It is.
But yeah, like it would have upset me too. I mean, Freddie is like, he's a true Hurricanes legend. I don't care what anyone says. Fight me. But him going to the Panthers, like, that would have been wrong. That would have been all kinds of wrong. And supplies Knobloch hasn't been picked up. I mean, so with Babs in I mean, we talked about this before. It's like he told McDavid, it's like, yeah, you're the problem too, because you're trying to be too much hero puck. It's like,
he doesn't have a choice.
In the east, and the sun rises in the east. It's like, tell me something I don't know. And McDavid's like all impressed. He's like, oh,
okay,
why someone's holding me accountable.
Let's ask a question here, though. If McDavid's not going to play hero puck, who on that team other than Draisaitl is going to? Nobody. That team is like, the meme where that's like the horse where it's drawn perfectly for the first half and the rest of it's a stick figure. That's Edmonton after you get past McDavid and Draisaitl. up from top to bottom.
Yeah. Work hard and then stick figure.
Again, piece of toast, the rest of the sandwich is not present, and then you have a small half of a slider bun that is Frederik Andersen, and that's not a knock on him. It's just he's going to be expected to hold up a sandwich that is much bigger yet much emptier than him. That is not going to work. What other option does McDavid have?
I think Woodcroft has an assistant
he is.
job, but he should be a head coach.
I'm surprised he didn't get another head coaching job.
He will soon, one day. One day soon. Some coach is going to be in the hot seat, and he'll take it.
Yeah.
He's to be the next head coach. I mean, I don't think he'll be the next head coach, but he could be a head coach in the future.
Yeah, absolutely.
The Panthers think they're already 2027 Cup champs. Yeah, I mean, like I mean, I'm not going to say that they're going to win on opening night, but I mean, like we're gonna pot 5 on Markstrom, and it's going to be glorious. I mean, we might give up 3, maybe even 4, but we're gonna light them up.
Yeah, because Markstrom historically does not play well against Carolina.
Yeah,
before he went to New Jersey, even.
And he's like, I think he had the statistically worst performance of any goaltender in 30 years when Colorado beat him 8-0. Something like that. Of course, we put 9 past Bobrovsky, so and the Oilers 2024 team was the best chance to win. Yeah, it was, and they came up just short. So yeah, I think that's basically all I got here, Brandon. Any closing thoughts?
When it comes to just to go back to Florida for a second, I don't think that they're going to be the team that they were. I think they'll be 80% of it at the most, primarily because of the goaltending. And when it comes to fourth lines, I'm still putting Minecraft Steve, Chinaman, and Robinson over theirs. So
they lost Greer. Greer was actually not like irreplaceable, but that was a big part of their identity. And
and then you've got a line that might potentially be equivalent of the Luostarinen line now with the Stankoven line. So like you have countermeasures to them that that Carolina didn't have before. The defense, it's pretty close there. I'm not going to pretend that it's not, especially considering we're waiting to see how the Nikishin situation gets sorted out. But
I mean, like,
I'm not,
and Barkov
not as afraid of him now.
Yeah, I mean, Barkov is fantastic, and obviously he's going to be a big difference, but he's coming off a major injury.
Saw how long it took Svechnikov to.
And he's a lot older, and he's older now. And, I mean, Marchand, great player. There you go. He's coming off major injury, getting older. That team is getting old quick. And, I mean, they got the Kachucks, and the Kachucks will do damage. No question. Not going to underestimate them. They got a great, I mean, like Ekblad, Forsling, Seth Jones. I mean, the career revival that he had.
Yeah.
Mikkola. And then I love Lucic.
Their defense is damn good.
Lundell is great. Lundell is actually probably like the future of their team. Like he's and obviously he's the current too, but he's going to be like the future number one center probably after Barkov. Not that they don't have great players and good things, but they're getting old quick. And and especially they chose like the older and slower goalies that the Hurricanes light up. So, and I was talking with Katie about this today too. So I think if I was doing it, I'd want to give like Bussy about 50 games and PK 34. That's what I'd do.
That sounds good to me.
Health pending, of course. And Greer was a glue man for them. Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
and they're going to miss it.
See, that is one thing I do have a little bit of a question mark with the goaltending for the Hurricanes, but I think that that will get put to bed pretty quick. I think that tandem's going to be fine. Especially, I'm not so much worried about it now because the Hurricanes are still playing to their identity defensively, but they're also scoring more. They're generating more clean rushes. They're not dumping the puck in as much. And there's no reason to expect that to change next year because they're bringing back the same team. So I'm not worried about that as much. This is what the team's finally hit its actualization moment of where everything Rod was trying to build finally came together. So I'm not worried about any of that. There's teams in the East that scare me far more than Florida does. Like
Montreal,
Buffalo,
maybe
Buffalo, yeah. Ottawa. There are teams that scare me significantly more at this point than Florida does. And Ottawa tried to be pretend Florida and they got smoked.
Yep. Start being a believer, man. Bussy's the shit. Like
I'm getting there.
I don't know what else you need to see. I mean, he won 31 games and 40 starts.
Yeah, but I hate goalies. I don't think they're people. Remember?
Oh yeah, and especially because my man Bussy apparently is now sponsoring a franchise that you despise.
That's another problem I have. How am I supposed to cheer for his success when he's sitting here co-signing and stool pigeoning and promoting an establishment that survives
diarrhea
on mid guacamole? Mid guacamole.
That is
stomach bile for queso.
I understand.
The rice is hard.
Your thing.
It's trash.
It's not my thing.
I'm just saying, if you're going to promote fast casual places, Moe's, Cava, like
he was young, he needed the money, Brandon.
Well, no, that's fine. The fact that he's okay with it now, though, that's that's not.
Well, that's
cool.
the thing. Didn't you mention endorsements? Are you gonna? How much money could Chipotle offer you to endorse them?
I don't.
Not all the money. Not Elon Musk's.
I do not condone terrorism. I don't give a damn how much money you make for it. I don't care. I don't care.
Okay,
I would have rather him gotten a Planet Fitness sponsorship, and I despise that place.
Well, I'm sorry, Brandon. You'll just have to learn to deal with it. Brandon Bussy is a phenomenal goaltender. I don't know what else he has to do to prove it. He came
not
in,
eat at bad fat casual restaurants.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. But other than that, he came in and won us the Stanley Cup. Is the Stanley Cup worth it, Brandon? Is the Stanley Cup worth it? No. You're like,
look, I'm just saying there's other ways to go about it. Okay, dude, they got the Verizon guy to switch sides to Sprint. You're telling me Bussy couldn't have went to Moe's?
That's true. Well, Moe's just needs to make him a better offer. Let's see it.
Okay, well,
you go tell him.
You know why they can't do that? Because their food is priced a lot more fairly than Chipotle. All those hipster kids eating it, being like, "Oh my god, this is amazing." No, you don't know what you're eating. Fucking bullshit.
And Bussy, believe it, for the most part, more looking so to Kochetkov. I mean, Kochetkov, he's still obviously he got lost due to injury, but he still has the issue of letting the medium low danger goal in. Like Bussy didn't really have that. I mean, like there was a rough stretch for a little bit. For like a few weeks after the break. I think that was mostly because of the break. The layoff was too long. Once he got back in it, and even then, when he did have a 2-month layoff and coming into the Stanley Cup Finals, he shut the door.
When he made that save on Marner on the penalty shot, I was like, okay, he's going to be fine. And then
Binnington is an upgrade. He's a downgrade.
Downgrade.
Like he's a downgrade. He's a downgrade from both of them. I'd rather have both either. Like I'd start both Kochetkov and Bussy over Binnington any day.
Yeah,
he sucks.
And it's like Kochetkov's a little bit of a hothead, but he doesn't measure up to how Binnington really loses his cool.
You're talking about hotheads. Yeah, like
when Kochekov loses his head, he reels it back in, and he, in his words, okay, stay in fucking net, do fucking job. Like he eventually gets back to that. Whereas Bennington stays pissed off about it for
and lets
weeks,
in another goal. And he'll be mad. He'll mad about one goal and lets in another one, and then another one. So
Kochekov's gotten better at having the short memory than he used to, because he used to get rattled a lot easier than he does. And I think that him getting that hip sorted out is going to work significant wonders for him, because that's a difficult injury for any athlete, but for a hockey goalie, that is a very, very hard thing to deal with.
20+ starts in the playoffs. I suppose, but he handled 3 straight starts against Vegas, trailing in the series, and put it up at 931. That was the best. That was the best opponent we had to face. Maybe you can make Ottawa is like pretty close to Vegas. I think they're actually pretty close.
Ottawa would have been harder if they'd been healthy.
That's fair.
That's the only thing.
And of course, Vegas did also losing Carlson. That hurt them mightily, especially in
that was only one game though. Thank you, Sean Walker.
True. Yeah. War of attrition.
Well, see, that's the other. See, that's why I like him so much. People are like didn't understand. I'm like, no, Sean Walker's kind of a
when
rat.
He's not scoring on his own net. That's great. He's great.
Physics just weren't on his side in those situations, because 9 times out of 10 that was
the right thing I know, but still,
I would have done the exact same thing in that situation as he did.
I get it, it's bad luck, but still. All right. So yeah, I think he can handle it. I don't think it's a workload issue with him. And then seeing people during 24-25 that we moved to Binnington, Chekhov, that would have been yeah.
The only thing
Binnington is done. Binnington is not. He's done.
You remember when people were talking about like wanting to bring Mrazek back? I'm like, you want to have a Kochekov Mrazek tandem? Do you want us to not have a night off from heart attacks? Like, do people not remember?
Like, I love
Mrazek.
I love Mr. Razik. He was. I loved him.
He was fun, but I cannot deal with that on double the basis that we did before. I can't do that. No, that's not happening.
Nope, we're not doing it. All right. At the risk of getting on too long, I think we should probably call it there. Thanks so much for joining us, everyone. Thanks for having me, Brandon. I really appreciate it.
Absolutely.
And I like our draft class. We'll see what happens with these players. I think there's a lot. I think I'm pretty confident that all of them except Jovanovski. He's the only one I don't really see making the NHL. Everyone else, then I think they can. I think they'll play. I think we'll play NHL games at least.
Yep, that sounds.
That's where it'd be cool in an alternate universe from 1819.
If it hadn't been for the stupidity of Ron Francis bringing in Scott Darling, you might have seen
you would have had it. Yeah, but then McElhaney was basically kind of what Cam Ward does at the time. Anyway, all right, calling the stream here. Good night, everybody. Thanks for going on, and we'll see you on the next time,
which will be a while.